Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joel Dehls. And it's now episode 446. In this episode, we are going to do our NBA All-Stars ballot and give our NFL Divisional Round playoff predictions. Fellas, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty great. Can't complain. I got my dollar soda. I'm feeling on top of the world. Ready to talk about some All-Stars. We got River Brown in the studio, live and in person. He's champing through. He's having his flu game. He's a little bit sicky poo. But our brother decided to come into the studio and lock in for this episode. Get to talk about Cade Cunningham, glaze him a little bit. Fans were upset that we spoke about Cade and you weren't here.
I held it down, bro.
But he did. No, I'll tell you who held it down. This guy, taking Cade Cunningham over Jalen Brunson. But before we get into any of that, I'm feeling great. How are you doing, Mr. River Brown?
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
What's interesting?
I thought it was interesting myself.
We had a conversation last summer, and it was crazy to take him over Jaylen Brown at that point. And now we're sitting here.
Coming off Finals MVP.
Now we're sitting here in Jalen Brunson conversation. I think.
Cade Cunningham is just a very good dude.
Yeah, we've come a long way from the below playmaking conversations. The wouldn't take him over Jaylen Brown. The him and Jalen Green conversations. We've come a long way.
That's still around.
He might not be top 15 in the league. Like we've come a long way to that. And I just like to see Cade get his props. I like to see him get his praise. And we all knew what it had to take. Detroit had to be good at some point for him to get his praise. And they're surprisingly, even with, in my opinion, a below average roster, still really good.
Definitely.
So
it's still one of the worst rosters in the
yes,
NBA.
it's very much shit.
All he needed was a couple vet minimum dudes who could shoot. And it's like, all right, he's an all-NBA player.
You know the roster is bad when they're like, don't forget about Tim Hardaway Jr. now. He's been playing really well.
He's not been bad.
No, he has been. I'm not saying he hasn't.
But he's definitely a below average starter.
Tim Hardaway Jr., whatever team he's been on, since he's been on the Knicks, when he got drafted to us, he's somebody that's just a very high volume shooting
like
player.
Buddy Hield. He's volatile.
He's up and down.
I'll never forget rookie season Tim Hardaway. It was special.
He was good. Then he got traded and it sucked. And then with the Hawks, he was just always a consistent 14-point per game guy. He's one of those guys that, he's good, but he's also very hot and cold. And for a team that has aspirations that's bigger than like getting out the mud for the first time in their team's history in a very long time, he's a liability. Like with the Mavericks.
I was going to say, in his last year with the Mavs, he forgot how to play basketball.
Shout out to JB Bickerstaff. Though.
Yeah, with the Mavericks, he was like, a black hole for them. And now for the Pistons, he's really good. That's just the type of player that he is. But yeah, Cade's doing this with not that much around him. And
John had an amazing,
in the future, they can surround him with more.
take.
What do you say?
Saying that he's the new Devin Booker. In the mud for multiple seasons. People sleep on how great he actually is. It takes him going over the top, although it really was Chris Paul, the addition of him. But two teams that were in the mud, two star players not getting the attention, they start to ball out. Now they start getting love, start getting praise.
I can see it. It makes sense.
Cade
Just
is number
both in
one
bad
overall
situations.
I feel like Cade just had more pressure on him off rip,
That's fair.
Shout out to him though. Like they got a couple good. Like Ron Holland's been good. Asar's been good.
And Devin Booker dealt with it for longer.
Facts.
He did. What, 6 seasons?
Ivy
Twice
before
as
he
long,
went
bro.
down was really good.
For sure.
Stewart's been cool. Duren sucks.
It's insane how they're doing this without a center.
No,
Yeah.
Jalen Duren really is like a massive liability.
Massive disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
Looks like a beast.
Hey, when he plays, he puts up numbers. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
giant.
DeAndre Ayton.
He'll give you a double-double.
I mean, you
for sure.
saw him in person.
Don't compare the two.
No, he's like DeAndre Ayton, like little to no effort, but the numbers.
Numbers
Boy,
look
them
good.
fucking
He'll have like a
numbers.
20-20 game and shit.
DeAndre Ayton is much
less
more
than 10,
impactful.
isn't he? Yeah, way more
In what?
in basketball.
He's just a better player.
He's definitely a better player.
No,
But
I
I know
agree. I
I
think
see what
he's-
Riv's saying.
yeah,
like
like,
if you just looked at his raw numbers when he actually gets
No, the fact
minutes,
that y'all think like no, like in terms like
I know what you mean.
Yeah, both of them are just
respect
like
DeAndre Ayton.
no.
He's 30 times better than Jalen Duren.
I agree. Impact
Maybe
level.
100.
Both of them are non-impact players.
No, yeah, DeAndre is not an impact player at this point.
It's just
yeah.
he's no
it's-
Rob
it's-
Will.
Okay.
He's no Ivica Zubats.
No, heavens no.
Not even close. I'll be honest.
He's not even Jay Huff.
But you saw Jalen Duren, right, at Summer League.
Yeah, we saw him in person. He scared the fuck out of us.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
he's-
know why we were surprised that it was Jalen Duren, too. We just walked past
We just saw a
him.
behemoth of a man. Like,
That's really what it was. We were just like,
he
oh my
overpowered
God.
Dehls. Like we looked at Dehls, looked at him, and Dehls,
went
even
like-
Dehls was like, "What the fuck?"
But hey, that's the thing. When you go into these live events like this, you have the opportunity to see somebody like Jalen Duren, especially at Summer League. NBA players are walking around there all the time. I've been meaning to go to an NBA game for a while. I was thinking about getting tickets for tomorrow's game, the Timberwolves and Knicks. But you know, MSG be taxing. I know that you recently went to the Garden though.
I was gonna say I went to the Jimmy V Classic. I sat essentially, I wouldn't say courtside because those tickets are insane compared
Couple
to where I
rows
was at.
behind.
I was like 3 rows deep on the basket side. But of course, I had to use SeatGeek. It showed me the best value. It was an easy money transaction. Going to the Jimmy V Classic, saw a pretty great game. I saw Michigan lose to Arkansas. That was a bummer because, you know, I love Michigan. But it was a great game nevertheless.
So SeatGeek is what you used.
Of course, I'm not going to use anything else.
Funny enough, when I went to the Liberty playoff game and they played the Aces in the summer, I used SeatGeek and I was behind the basketball hoop, but I was like 3 rows back. Got him for like a steal of a deal. And, you know, the atmosphere was lit. Like, the game was crazy. You know, Sabrina was doing her thing. Brianna Stewart was doing her thing. But SeatGeek blessed me with some really good tickets, some really good pricing. And I was really close to the seat. Really close to the floor.
And listen, it's not just sporting events. I went to a Zach Bryan concert. I know Riv's a big fan of Zach Bryan. He's shown me a few different songs. Like, this guy is tough. Went on SeatGeek, and they make it easy. Like Drew mentioned, right? Like, sometimes they do tax, right? For MSG, right? You see a lot of red, but SeatGeek, I saw it was like this really, really green. And it was like $100, $200 less than tickets in like the same section. So I went and copped that.
Well, that's a great alternative to use for tickets and to buying them. That just made my life a lot easier. And it's a coincidence because today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek.
Get the heck out of here.
What a pleasant surprise.
There's no way.
So, you know, you guys vouching for SeatGeek like that, I got to get hip. I got to buy tickets soon. Knicks tickets are a little bit expensive. I could maybe use our discount code to purchase Nets tickets entirely.
What is our
because they're
discount
so cheaper now. It's pick a side 10, but it's PAS 10. And you can get a max of $20 off your purchase when you purchase tickets on SeatGeek. So if you guys are interested in going to any live event in the near future, you'll use our code PAS10, help support the pod, and also help give yourself a discount to these sporting events.
Yeah, I'm going to use it when I go watch the Lakers in Barclays. That's an easy decision. I'm not going to the Garden with all due respect.
Barclays, I like it better,
much bread.
honestly.
The Garden is way better. Oh, you say you like Barclays,
better.
I respect the hell out of that opinion. It's a bold one.
I like it.
But I respect it.
MSG is the glamour, the glitz. I get it. But Barclays just feels like my vibe. Nice, calm, easy. You know, chill.
MSG's way better.
It is way better.
Yeah.
Energy's insane.
No, yeah, but I've been to Barclays enough, and I've been to MSG enough to know like I prefer Barclays.
I get it.
Yeah, like I prefer Barclays.
Yeah, I've been to MSG once, and it was a great environment. I just hated where I sat. I sat behind 2 kids that were fucking going ballistic over Kevin Knox. You know, it was just.
So you don't even get the experience like Barclays. I can sit down lower. I can sit in the middle.
Were you in the Barclays Center when you were caught in 4K?
That was the Barclays. It was Nets versus Grizzlies.
Couldn't do that at the MSG, you know.
Harden, Claxton,
Oh no, you're not
KD.
getting those seats. You are not getting those seats.
You know, here's the thing: is with MSG, it's very expensive. The environment is great, but it also just matters where you're sitting. Because where I was sitting, it was right behind the baskets. And that kind of obstructs your view as is when you sit behind the baskets like that. And I'm not talking about like the side. I'm talking about like directly behind the baskets. And I also just feel like in live events, there are some people that are just super inconsiderate and they just like standing up the entire time. And for me, that's like very annoying because it's like we're watching.
If it's a big moment,
when I was in
I'm
MSG,
standing.
when I
I'm
was
not
in
saying
MSG,
the whole game, but
No, that makes sense. If it's a big
yeah.
moment, like for example with WWE, you know, it's a big moment. The entrance is going on. You know, people stand up for it.
brother, when I was in MSG, when Steph was on the court, I was standing every moment. Like I
But
didn't
it's
sit
like-
down
reminds
until he
me,
sat down.
Last night, Minnesota versus the Warriors. The Warriors are on a 13-0 run to start the game. I think 7 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first quarter. They were still waiting for the Wolves to still score their first bucket.
Oh my goodness.
I'd have been so sick.
That's what Syracuse does. They don't sit down until they score their first
basket,
field goal. It's not a free
no,
throw.
free throws?
It's a field goal.
They had
my
zero.
goodness.
They had 0 points. There were 7 minutes, like 20 seconds left, and they were still
They
standing.
almost came back and won that game.
They
too.
did. It was a one-point game.
Shout out to
Hell
Kevon
yeah.
Looney, man.
Nah, you know,
He's back.
the reason why I don't like going to MSG is because it's really expensive. And whenever I like to go to a game, I want to sit somewhat close. Like I want to make sure like the experience is worth it. I don't want to sit
100%.
all the way at the top levels. Respect to people who do that. I did that once, a couple times for the Jets game when I had season tickets. That's where my seats were at, unfortunately. And then when I went to the Nets game 7 versus the Bucks, I was all the way at the top. Like I was able to touch the ceiling. it was still a phenomenal experience because of the game that it was. But recently, somebody on Knicks Twitter, they went to MSG, and they were sitting all the way at the top, and he took a picture of him sitting there, right? People were making fun of him on, like, oh, look at you fucking sitting here and shit. And
he posted a receipt?
He got bullied.
I think.
Here's the thing. He got bullied by other people so much that it got a lot of traction on Twitter.
Oh, I saw this.
And Josh Hart gave him tickets. He blessed them with it might have been courtside tickets.
Do you want to know what's insane about that? He may have been sitting in the last row. The reality is those tickets cost at least $200. At maybe. Maybe. The last seat, because when I went to, granted, I went to go see LeBron and the Knicks. Mm-hmm. So tickets were going to be a little bit more expensive. Yeah. I was pretty high. I went with me, Al, my brother, and his wife. We were pretty high, and those tickets were like $250 each.
If it's for LeBron, facts.
But here's the thing also. The Knicks are different this year. They are
gonna be
way better than what they were a couple years back.
Yeah.
The tickets for a regular ass game, I think I looked at it if they were playing Charlotte. Whenever they play Charlotte next, minimum $270. Like
it's $270 versus Charlotte. It's $500 for the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. That the average person, it's just very hard to afford something like that.
Head over to Barclays, brother.
Bro, and it's so funny you say that because me and Charles were literally on the phone looking to sit behind the bench of the Nets. Cost $200.
Lock in. I'd love to sit there. I'll gas it up too.
Bro,
like
the
courtside.
upper levels at Barclays cost like $15.
Yeah. You can sneak down.
It's so cheap. That's why when I went to LA, I went for the Rams and Cardinals playoff game. But in that day, I did like fucking 3 other activities. What I did first is I went to an NBA game, then I went to an NFL game right after. And the NBA game I went to was the Clippers game because the Clippers tickets at the time, even though they played in the same arena as the Lakers, it was just significantly cheaper. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I didn't get to watch Kawhi didn't play, Paul George didn't play, and I was watching Amir Coffey and like Montrezl Harrell and stuff. But still, I was watching the Pacers. They played that day, and the tickets were just cheap. And I don't know, for me, if I'm gonna break the bank and I'm not going to get great seats, I'd rather just stay at home. But I like going to games.
Shit, when I was in Orlando, I paid like $15 to go see Orlando and the Raptors. Snuck down immediately. Like 15 got in, snuck all the way down. So I'm like mad close. Six Men?
No, he still hasn't linked up with
didn't
them.
link them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I thought you did.
Completely.
Yeah, he's fake.
Literally forgot they were there. Just went to the game. Was with my friends.
You like Brett?
Facts.
Yeah, I met Brett. Yes.
When I was in Orlando with my pops, I saw Brett. I didn't get to see the 6-man show, but I still was in touch with them. They blessed me. I was able to sit like 9 rows deep. Yeah. My dad still talks about it to this day. It's the craziest basketball experience.
The tickets in Boston are Brett too. When the last couple of times I've gone, I've dropped like at least $300 for the tickets.
Yeah, that's why if you're fortunate enough to live in an area where the
teams
tickets,
are dog shit.
Yeah, they're not that much because there are even some teams that are pretty
even
good.
Even the Bucks. Like the Bucks tickets are not that crazy.
Yeah,
Chicago
there's
tickets
teams that are
expensive.
good, but
like big
you
cities.
can still get away with it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you like live in one of those areas, it's better for you to go to games.
Tell a girl she want to go courtside, you got to drive her to Charlotte. Like, let's go courtside game. We'll go watch the Charlotte. LaMelo? Come on, let's go watch him.
That sounds lit.
Yeah, she'd be like, why are we going
Do
to
you really
Charlotte?
want to go to that game and watch somebody take 25 threes a game?
It's courtside.
EFG, baby. Yo, what's crazy is we were looking at all courtside, so we were looking at Barclays too. 2 bands. Anywhere you go, courtside is going to be insane. Sure. Anywhere you look, it's going to be insane.
You guys saw they have stats for 1-leg 3-pointers?
Did.
Saw LaMelo shooting like 40%.
He's so funny. He's such a video game. He plays too much, man. He plays way too much.
Yeah, I mean,
he'd be me if I was in the league. More so like the vibe I'd be on, like trying to have fun.
Now,
LaMelo
get my definitely
just
be on some chill shit.
It didn't start off like the best with LeVar Ball and like the
I think he's done a
LiAngelo.
magnificent
The
job.
LiAngelo
never
aspect
felt
of
that
it.
way. Oh, fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
because LaMelo made it, Lonzo made it, LiAngelo was kind of like the odd man out, but he's found his lane. And now
How did he get $8 million from Def Jam, bro?
That song was fire.
It was fire, but $8 million, bro.
$8 million might be cat. I don't know.
I feel like it was recorded.
You know what it probably was? He played him the songs that he has in the chamber.
True.
They probably were pressure, and they were like, all right, we're signing you, but these songs are ours.
Yeah, ever see that video?
Or just like looked at the numbers.
Yeah, ever see that video of Bobby Schmurder performing in front of a
That shit
room
hurt.
of
That
white
shit's
people? And
hilarious,
he was going
bro.
naked. They're just there, and I'm like, okay.
You know,
It's funny if
Leangelo-
I didn't care about Bobby. Like I was a kid when Bobby got
he
locked
was
up.
going,
I was
he
all
was
sad
being
and
himself,
shit.
and
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
just
yeah.
is moving. He's like, fuck it.
But
I'm
he
going
was
for it.
lit. He
No,
was
he
geeked
was going
up.
insane in there.
You know, Leangelo and Lil Baby dropped the same day, and Leangelo's song has like so many
Leangelo
more
has the
views.
hottest song in the world.
When
right
are we
now.
gonna be honest?
I
Weaker's
still, I
better than
still
every
haven't
song on
listened to
Wham.
Lil Baby's album,
Yeah.
bro.
No. Yes. No. Yes.
Have you guys listened
Yo,
to the
F
full
You
Leangelo
Twice is
song?
one of the
Yeah.
worst songs I ever
I'll be
heard
honest,
in my
the
life.
the
So
hook,
Sorry was a good song.
Leangelo's hook, like I swear, like
It's
that's
very,
hard.
really good.
It's
The
very
verses-
2004 vibe.
The entire
This
song
whole
as a whole.
song, the
It's a good
verses
song.
are catchy
See,
as shit.
Y'all
and it's
going in
good.
trying to think he's going to hit you with a bar.
Can you
no,
just have fun?
You gotta go
Like,
and think
I want a
it's
fun
gonna
track.
be a
He gave me a fun
vibe. Like, it's
track.
gonna
No,
be a
the
vibe.
hook is fun.
Well, no, he asked.
That's what I'm
why I
saying.
was like, the hook is
no,
fire.
the hook is fun.
It's because you're a Kendrick fucking Lamar fan. All you want to hear is all this nonsense.
You say it like that's a bad thing.
It sometimes yes.
You're exposing yourself.
I'm not.
River, you know I got nothing wrong with fucking
not- we-
He's about to-
ignorant
he's about to
fucking
perform in the
stupid
Super Bowl.
shit.
We
but-
hit the bar. You know
You'd
what's
rather
coming
listen-
on. I might swerve, man. That corner. Whoa. Like it's like
you
it's gonna
ever
be
heard a
lit.
Kendrick song?
No,
never.
no,
I've never
no
been
way.
nowhere, and they be like, "Oh, throw that Kendrick on." No.
I can't laugh.
No.
The fans know I love Drake. I can't laugh
No,
right now.
I've never
It's
heard
muddy
it. But
water.
best believe that Leandro gonna come on.
Yeah.
For sure. Like it's gonna come on.
I've played Leangelo's song more than any Kendrick Lamar song ever.
Cash Cobain has officially come on before Kendrick Lamar.
Yo,
E-
Cash
easily, actually,
Cobain is
easily.
nice.
Well, listen, number
Yo,
one,
that Cash Cobain song with Ice Spice. I know Ice Spice fell
What he
off.
said in the
Fisher-
song, he was
Fisher.
like,
For sure.
he said this bar about eating butt. He said something.
Yes.
He said some crazy shit that make you like stop, but you're like, fuck it, this shit fire. We
He's
just gonna
funny.
go.
That's one thing about Cash. He's funny as fuck. You gonna make me look at the lyric.
well,
now.
listen, number one,
Kendrick's performing in the Super Bowl.
He is.
He is. Yeah,
That's cool.
Number one, I don't go to the club, so I wouldn't know what they
That's
play
stupid.
in the
Feel you.
club or not.
You've
So
been to Blue 42 though. You hear
yeah,
Kendrick?
but I don't really go. I
You
mean,
hear swimming pools sometimes. Like,
yeah, but you know,
They'll probably play
what would you
Not Like
rather
Us.
have? You'd rather
I'll
rather
play that.
perform at a fucking club or the Super Bowl?
I mean, if I'm me, the Super Bowl.
Shut up. Yeah, shut up. Stop.
I'll be honest. You tell me who do I want to see at the Super Bowl? Kendrick doesn't hit the top like 100.
That's because
Keep
you're
it
a
stacked.
casual.
No, I just I don't want to
Listen
sit
to
here.
Rod Wave. Come
Rod
on,
Wave
get out of
definitely-
here.
Broadway clears.
He plays
He
25.
clears
I'm
Kendrick
lit.
Lamar.
Yes.
What are you
Clears.
talking about?
Kendrick's just. He's not an appealing. Like I don't want to sit there and listen to him. He played.
Well, he's clearly an appealing artist.
he played not
He's
like
about to
a
support-
7 times at a concert, dude.
Yeah, and LeBron was there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so he's not appealing, but the best basketball player in the world was there.
He played 7. He played a song
What's
7
LeBron
times.
gotta do with the ukulele?
LeBron
What
is
do you mean?
mean?
right now.
He had a whole concert, and it was it was on Amazon Music, exclusively on Amazon Music.
played a song
they
7
paid
times.
them to
This
stream
doesn't-
that concert.
This doesn't move me.
He
That
played a
he
song
was on-
7
he
He's
was
times.
talking
on
about
Prime
Drew.
with LeBron.
He's
Drew,
talking about what's
Drew,
appealing.
You know how
Obviously, that's appealing.
You know how mid your catalog has to be, where you have to
Hey, bro.
continuously play a
Bro,
song.
Kendrick's
Let's-
catalog
Rip,
is
Rip,
not
Rip.
mid. What are
Let's
you
go-
talking
let's
What
go
he
to-
played 7
All right,
times.
but let me ask you a question. Travis Scott played Goosebumps 30 times, whatever it was.
Travis Scott has a fucking amusement park at the concert.
But
He's
he
on
played
a
the same
roller
track
coaster.
30
No, he
times
didn't.
in a
He
row.
played Goosebumps. He's played Sicko
Bro, he
Mode.
has the
Like, what are you
record
talking about?
for song
Bro,
played
you'd rather have
Yes, but
LeBron
you remember
Henry
what happened?
or,
You remember how when he was playing
Mike's
it?
hard.
They had an earthquake.
It's LeBron's Henny.
It's
Don't
Kendrick
say it's
Lamar having an
LeBron's Henny.
earthquake.
Mike's hard.
That's
baby.
what I'm saying. LeBron's not everything.
Like,
I don't think he
Kendrick
is.
Lamar had an earthquake. Travis Scott had a concert and they had an earthquake. That's how good his concert was.
It was
They
pretty
don't
lit.
compare. Travis clear.
No, Travis Scott is an excellent performer. He's
Yeah,
one
like,
of the best performers
he's
in his
one of them.
generation.
He's one of them ones. Like,
Yeah.
like how do you make
Oh,
the world
he
shake?
played Goosebumps 15 times in a row in
fire.
2017.
That's damn.
But Kendrick playing Not Like Us 5
Earthquake?
times lost you. No earthquake. No
don't
earthquake.
Did
care.
you see how many people he had dancing on stage?
That was fire. I'm surprised you enjoyed it. There was a lot of gang members on the stage. I'm surprised you had fun with it, honestly. There's a bunch of
listen,
guys
man.
throwing their flag up, you know? He was going crazy. Shout out
Hey,
to
listen,
Kendrick.
you know they weren't violating no laws. Letter of the law. I'm okay with it.
DeMar and
the
Russell getting lit on stage. That shit hurt.
No, I
Sure
think
hurt your soul.
DeMar, like, come on.
You
man.
know, the whole Kendrick and Drake beef, like, Kendrick clearly won it, we know. I feel like Drake, you know that he just dropped a lawsuit, right?
Yeah, I did see that.
He dropped it?
Yeah, he dropped it.
shit.
He's not going into
I thought he's taking it federal now.
is he? I just heard he's dropping it.
No, he's taking it federal now.
Okay.
It's getting worse.
I never cared for the beef, you know,
I
personally.
don't care.
People say Drake lost, but
I listen to Drake.
Drake fans gonna say Drake won.
Family matters.
Drake fans gonna say Drake won. Kendrick fans gonna say Kendrick won.
Did lose. That's
But what really
happened.
matters is the non-biased fans.
If it's a, you know, if
non-biased
it's a,
fan, I don't
he
give a fuck.
only won because he took it to the extreme of calling him a
he only won because there's video footage of Drake kissing a minor on stage. That's why. Come on, what are we talking about?
He didn't know.
Not a part
I
of
don't
it.
know. There's no defending. It's not great.
Don't defend it.
Please don't even try. Please don't even try.
There's no defending that clip.
No, I think
He said, "Oh man, you can't be like that when you look. You can't be that age when you look like that."
That's insane.
I was like, okay, well,
That's
you're
a
digging your
nut-ass
grave,
ball.
buddy.
Nah, you know what, RDC World, this is what he said about it. It's popped up on my TikTok, and he was just like, you know what I learned? He was like, the biggest L's come from not knowing how to take a L. And that's what he was talking about, like, in regards to
it's a
Drake.
fact.
Because, you know, he did, even if, you know, you felt like he had better tracks or bars, he lost a perception battle. You know, Kendrick had a fucking concert and a whole tour about this motherfucker and just, you know, he's tarnishing his reputation. And Drake is just kind of still trying to, you know, save himself,
I
which
will
is
say,
fine.
people love to hate Drake.
No,
That's
yeah, of
one. That's
course.
one thing that
When you at the
Kendrick
top of
had
your
on
game,
his
you
side.
get hated.
Kendrick had on his side that people hate Drake, and I'll give him that.
What's your issue with Rod Wave, bro? I feel like every
I
time I
like
bring
Rod
this up,
Wave.
you just bring up Rod Wave right
Now, I'll
away.
be honest. After this Bryce Young shit, I had to go and lock into Rod Wave. I've listened to
nice.
No,
every
Yeah,
Rod
he's
Wave
really
is
good.
amazing. I love Rod Wave.
Little
But I don't
repetitive,
like the
but really
Kendrick
good.
disrespect. Stop
Who?
it.
Oh.
Could have said like Herb.
I was
Davies.
thinking
He
about
fell
it.
off.
Davies.
Davies
Davies
got
doesn't
me.
he shouldn't get brought up in 2025.
Oh my
That shit
goodness.
hurts me.
It's been-
Davies, Herb used to be them ones.
Herb
about
hurts.
Herb.
Dave, I'm good. I'm
Herb
good.
I feel
just
like,
hasn't
you know,
locked in,
this
I feel like.
I know
think
you like
this-
to say that, but
this-
it's
It's
over.
true, bro.
It's over.
It's true. I'm locked in. He hasn't been locked in.
This might be the last episode that we record before the TikTok ban takes into place. It's supposed to take into place Sunday night.
19th, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that it gets saved somehow. I know, like, they proposed a bill to extend, you know, the date that it has to be sold and stuff, but I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up too much. It really sucks that they're just gonna like ban this shit though.
I love TikTok for what it is able to do for us. However, after watching Mr. Beast say America deserves TikTok, it just made me cringe. It's just like, man, people really, really, really love this app. And I love the app. I like it a lot. It's done a lot for me. But man, I don't know. It's just it seems something childish about it.
I don't know, man.
I think it's just Mr. Beast just kind of cringy himself. You know
That's
what I mean?
really what it was.
Yeah.
America deserves TikTok. We need it. I'm
He
going
could
to
have
do
said some
everything I
hard shit.
can.
and Still be cringy.
Yo, I
think
genuinely
what's-
don't know who that is.
Mr.
You know
Beast.
Mr. Beast
Yes.
is the most subscribed dude on YouTube. Now he's
can't, like-
He does like the
this
real life
content
Squid
space.
Games, and he
Yeah.
does like survive in here for
I dead
30
can't put
days.
a-
You get
I gotta look him.
$1,000.
I can't put a
What's
face
so
to
what's so
Just
cringy
a
about
regular
that
looking white dude.
is I just feel
He's
like
ugly. If I'm being honest, he's
amidst
ugly.
of the TikTok ban, like there's just a lot of billionaires that are just coming out the woodworks like, yo, listen, I'm gonna buy it. Like I want to buy it. And it's because they want public perception on their side and they want to feel like the hero of the moment. But
Like when Chance the Rapper saved SoundCloud.
yeah, possibly. I don't
Yo,
even
that was a
remember
time
right now.
period.
Yeah, SoundCloud was
He's
big
like,
for a
I'm
lot
going to
of
save
people.
SoundCloud. Don't worry. And
Yeah.
then we were listening to ads. We had to pay for SoundCloud Plus. He saved it, but
SoundCloud's whack now.
at the cost of his career being in the mud.
I just feel like it's fucked up because like there's 170 million people on TikTok. That's half of the U.S. population. And the reason for it being banned, I don't feel like is really valid because
They're
it's a
stealing our information.
yeah, it's a Chinese-owned company because the government in China technically owns like every one of their companies. But Temu isn't getting banned. Like Alibaba, all these like Chinese companies we could still use. It's just TikTok specifically, and I think that's because a lot of politicians have their money in Meta invested into it. And if a TikTok ban takes into place, you already know what stock is going to skyrocket. It's going to be Meta. I invested into it last night, so I'm fully expecting to capitalize off this moment. Even though I hate that it's happening, I got to find a way to make it good for myself.
A little silver lining. I respect the fuck out of
Yeah.
that.
Just, a little, put a little investment. Okay, let's see how much this goes.
That's like a win-win. Either TikTok gets taken away from us, you make some bread. TikTok stays, you still make some bread.
Yeah.
Hey, meta stocks don't go up over the years, probably regardless.
The
That's a fact.
algorithm for TikTok, I do think is better. But yesterday, I was kind of doing a little social experiment on myself. I was like, okay, let me go on TikTok and then also scroll on Instagram and see, if Reels is the algorithm's just as good.
It's whack.
Yeah, I don't enjoy IG Reels as much, but I will say I found a funny ass video last night that had me cracking the fuck up.
IG Reels is for the demons.
I
IG Reels can get really dark quick.
What you mean by that?
Like, what does it show?
Just some extreme content. Just like the things that, like, they're trying to do too much to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got
It's way darker than TikTok, honestly.
I got a video of this dude. It was fucked up. It was just funny though. He was driving and he was in a drive-through and he looked at the work. He was like, "Yo, what's good?" Like, he was like, "If I give you $100 right now, like, is there anything that, like, you know, your bosses could do to stop me? Can I just give it to you for your service?" And then he's like, "Yeah, you know, I guess you can." And then he was like, "Appreciate it." And then he just drove off. He was like, "Appreciate it." And I was dying. I was like, "Yo, that's so fucked
That
up."
would have got me tight.
He was like, "Appreciate it."
I'd be like, "Good boss, can I get a break? I just need to let off some steam, bro. He just pissed me off."
Nah, bro, he just drove off, and that shit had me dying. I was laughing for a good 5 minutes. I showed her, and she didn't have the same reaction.
Don't you hate that, bro? When you find something mad funny, you show somebody, and they're like, "Come on."
That is my least favorite thing in the entire world.
So I don't really show anybody my stuff. I was just keeping it to me. You know what I mean?
Nah, I respect that, and I'm gonna go on a limb and tell you guys a story that I found very funny recently. I'm watching Seinfeld, and Seinfeld's like critically acclaimed, like one of the best sitcoms ever. It started a revolution in that type of TV. So I'm watching it, and I actually reached out to Carson because the whole thing, it's called Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld's the creator of it. Jerry, in my opinion, is the least funny guy in the show. He's the guy, the main character, but he's my least favorite. I think he's the least funny. Now, George Costanza, Jason Alexander, I want to say is his real name in real life. He's like this short dude, balding. He's funny as hell. He's going to get a massage. Mm-hmm. Now, when you go and you're a guy and you want to get a massage, you're hoping that it's a woman. That's how the episode took it. Hey, love is love. Regardless.
It's a fact, though.
No doubt. You're anticipating it's going to be a woman.
I'm dead ass because
I know what you mean.
There was a time that me and Chelsea, we had a couples massage and they only had men. And I was like, I don't want to go.
No, OD. That's a fact.
Sometimes you want stronger hands.
Okay, that too. That's fair. All right, leave it like that. Don't even entertain it. Don't even entertain it.
Sometimes you need more pressure
Like
on
a man
those.
gripping on your ass.
Sometimes you need more pressure on the joints.
See, like Riv already said something
like,
that might
you're really
be funnier
like
than what I'm
him.
going to say, which kind of
Him really like just gripping on you.
Griffin's crazy.
So what happened in this?
All right, so he goes and he has to get a massage from a man because there was no women available. So he's all stuck up about it. He's mad tense. So the guy goes and tells him, "All right, take off your pants. It'll be easier for me to get your hamstring." He goes, "What hamstring?" He's like, "The hamstring that you wrote about that is actually bothering you." So he goes and he takes off his pants and he goes and starts rubbing on his thigh and he jolts up. Because obviously a man's touching him, but he's going mad close to his dick apparently. So then he goes to see Jerry and he's like, "Well, I got a massage." Jerry's like, "All right, from a man." And he said, and he was rubbing on my leg after I took my pants off. Jerry's like, "You took your pants off?" He's like, "My hamstring's messed up." And when he touched me, it moved. And when he said it moved, I started to cry, man. I couldn't, it was like 1:00 in the morning. I'm about to fall asleep. But like I hear all this transpiring, I just start crying.
Wait, so why'd you reach out to Carson?
So, because Carson, I was talking to him about Seinfeld in general. Because I asked him, it's like, Seinfeld's supposed to be the guy. Why is he not funny?
Yeah.
And he was just like, it's just a known thing. He's not funny.
Like,
In comparison.
He's a dry humor comedian.
I wouldn't even say that.
He's just whack.
It's just really whack.
Yeah, he picked some guys that are funnier. So.
Have you ever seen his stand-up
Locked in.
comedy?
Bro, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The show, his job is a comedian.
Yeah.
So there'll be individual moments of him doing stand-up, and I'm literally straight face watching this shit. But when George is on the screen, it is magic.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the show solely for him. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, Larry David created it, and I don't know if you guys seen Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's next.
That's
I've
a
seen some
that's a
episodes.
classic. Yeah, it's really
never
fucking
seen both.
funny.
Larry David's the executive producer of Seinfeld with
Yeah.
Jerry.
Larry David is amazing. He's
Never
a
seen
Jets fan too,
Seinfeld. Never
by the
seen
way.
He is a Jets fan.
Have
he
you
is a
seen
big Jets
Martin?
Yeah.
And Gina? Or
No,
just Martin?
it's just
Do
Martin.
you also want to ask me if I've seen My Wife and Kids? Everybody Hates Chris.
Those were next, 'cause I don't
Yo,
believe you
yes.
saw
My
Martin.
Wife
I
and
have.
Kids was good.
It's one of the greatest.
Everybody hates Chris. I was locked in.
House
I'm
of
not gonna lie.
Pain?
Like I've
Of
seen
course
that
I
one.
I've actually never seen a House of Pain.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
You know, so what does that
Well,
say?
you've
about
seen
you in
Martin?
comparison to me?
Who's
Have you
it-
seen
who-
Blackish?
No.
That's like a newer one, right?
That's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Abbott Elementary?
Oh, Avid's
Oh yeah,
fire.
I have.
Abbott is tough.
Abbott Elementary is very
Abbott is
good.
very
What are you
tough.
gonna ask me here?
I'm not just
You're
actually
gonna
want
ask
to
us
see
something
Martin.
about Martin.
No, I
He was
have
about to
seen
hit
Martin.
you with some trivia, some
No,
Martin.
I just wanted to ask you if you see Martin.
No, I
that's
have
all.
seen Martin. I haven't
You like
seen. Yeah, I haven't seen that many episodes of Martin. I'm more
So how
like,
do you know you like it?
the episodes, the shows that I've seen the most have been really Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, House of Pain,
Facts.
Everybody Hates Chris, almost really
But
every
everybody
episode.
has to watch. Everybody hates Chris.
Also, Family Matters.
The Boondocks?
It's another big one.
Family Matters was pressure too.
Yeah, Family Matters was
you
amazing.
seen the Boondocks?
A couple episodes.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch it.
Everybody Hates Chris really the only show I've watched for like at least 50 episodes of.
Yeah.
I've seen every episode of Boondocks at least 12 times.
I love a good TV show. Right now I'm watching Silo. It's on Apple TV. Yeah, it's
You're an
about
Apple TV fiend.
No, Apple TV has
Bro, have you watched
fucking
Severance?
bangers.
Don't say anything,
Yes.
please. I'm begging you.
You have season 2 comes out tonight. I
Tonight,
think. Yeah, I got
yes.
lucky.
Yeah, my dad actually just came from El Salvador.
Hey,
He's
bro, do
here
yourself
for,
a favor.
the
Pause
next 2
Seinfeld.
weeks.
Yeah, oh,
Post
really?
Seinfeld.
That? Damn. All right.
No,
No,
Seinfeld's got
Severance
mad
is
seasons.
amazing. Severance is amazing. You have to
I'm
lock
already on
in.
season 3.
Oh damn.
But season 1's 5 episodes, season 2's 12.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
I thought they
But
were like
basically,
20-something.
Silo. It's a show about how these people live in an underground bunker, and the outside world is fucking fucked up. And
Sounds like Fallout.
Didn't you tell us this, that there's a screen?
yeah, there's a screen
Uh-huh.
that the people inside the silo think it's. I'm gonna give away the plot if I go too deep.
I already
into
know
it.
where you're about to go.
No, but you've already
Have you
told
seen
us what
Fallout?
it is.
Yes.
If that sounds kind of similar.
It's different than that because Fallout in that show
They go outside.
outside they can go there.
Yeah.
If you go
You know,
outside, you allegedly die. So there's a screen, and when the people walked outside, they died. But the people thinking, "Oh, is this a screen? I still don't believe that it's a screen. We should go outside." And then apparently there was like this scene that
Yeah.
it looked as if they were fine.
So here's the thing: is like when
Oh, there's
they,
a glitch in the screen. Excuse
yes,
me.
when they go outside to clean, that's what they call it. Going outside to clean is basically going out to your death. The reason why they die is because one, the oxygen outside isn't that good, and the screen, the display is always blurry. And the way that they get people to clean the screen is when they go outside, they see fucking green grass, trees, and birds, and they're like, holy shit, everybody inside the silo's being lied to. So then they go clean the window, and they take a couple steps up a hill, and they just fucking fall and collapse and die. And that's how people inside the silo realize, oh shit, it's safe in here, we shouldn't go outside, because if people think it's okay to go outside, you basically get like a whole revolution. And the thing is that the display that people are seeing inside is actually real. Outside, the people, when they're seeing this green grass, it's fucking VR. It's pretend. And they do that to make them want to clean and show the people inside that they're being lied to.
Gotcha. Is it better than Severance?
It's probably like, no, it's not better than Severance. Okay. But it's a top tier sci-fi show. Like, it's an amazing sci-fi show. I've been really locked into it. Common is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
South Common.
Last thing I'll say, and then we should get into the show. I was going into the gym, and I like to park far from the gym. I like to park far from the gym to show myself that I want to go to the gym. So I park in like the furthest spot, and then I walk. Now, I park my car, I get out, I look to my left, and in the back seat of the car are 2 people fucking.
Nice.
Now, never in my life have I experienced some shit like that. I always thought that was like some fake shit, like not in the middle of the day more than anything.
Didn't have tents, nothing.
No. It was 1 in the afternoon,
Had to get his fuck
broad
on.
daylight, and
get
they
it.
were just posted in the
It's time.
back. I go, I lock my car, I look, we make eye contact, I realize what's going on. I'm
With
like,
the guy or the girl?
we both, all 3 of
Oh.
us, we make eye contact.
I don't know which store is on.
I'm just like, all right, lock the door. I just kept
hit
it
him with
pushing. Nah, bro, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know stuff like that actually happened.
No, that's pretty bizarre. Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin. He put it in my head. They were probably having an affair.
Shit,
That makes
probably.
sense.
If you can't do it at a crib, or if they don't have a spot, maybe.
Fact,
Maybe that was their lunch.
I guess.
Could've been,
but
yeah, could have been working
yeah,
from around.
It's very desperate.
Mall
Yeah,
or some
just
shit.
do it middle of the day.
just in broad daylight. That's the shit that lost me.
Yeah. So, Riv, yesterday on the podcast when we recorded, the top comment was that, they missed you during the Cade Cunningham discussion. You'll be able to give your Cade Cunningham input because we're going to do NBA All-Star ballots. Not just the starters. It's going to be starters and reserves. Both. We can start off with the Eastern Conference. And I feel like the East, the starters were pretty easy for me.
There's 4 easy ones. One could be a toss-up between all of us.
I feel like I don't need to say nothing ever again. I feel like you know.
We're Cade?
Yeah, I feel like the validation is there. I feel
you're here.
I feel like Cade now is getting that love that he's been deserving. I feel like you see it now. He's on NBA Today. He's on NBA TV. He's on ESPN. He's getting all these interviews. Now
Funny Marco.
Yeah. Now you can see all the commercials
really
coming out. Now you can see like Cade
awesome
is
personality.
Detroit is now doing their thing. Like you can see all the love and the
Cade Cunningham
validation. What?
Cade Cunningham Moran.
Cade.
Respected.
Cade.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, Cade.
I don't blame you.
I think Cade is one of them dudes. I think Cade's been one of them dudes.
Better leader?
Better leader?
Cade or Ja?
You know it's Cade.
Probably Cade though. Bigger guy.
We talked about that in the Would You Rather.
I don't know. Ja's probably a better playmaker.
No, it's
better finisher.
That's it. Pretty much.
Better finisher for sure.
Ja, yeah. The problem
Other
with
than that,
Ja
yeah, it might be
is he's smaller. The jumper still hasn't been there. He also has a really bad whistle, so some of his games look really bad.
Cade needs to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Like that's like the last step in his playmaking.
It would never. It's always going to be like this until he gets another guy.
Ball handler.
It's always going to be.
That's
like
why
this.
it sucks that Ivy went down triple-double.
But yeah, let's get to the All-Star. I'll just run out my 5 because I feel like I'm already here.
All right. Before that,
Yes.
we all have the same 4. There's 4 that we all have. I know for a fact. Jalen Brunson. You have Jalen Brunson, correct? Starting.
Yes.
Okay. Jason Tatum, Giannis, Cat. Those are the 4 easy ones.
I feel like I do have that.
I think to me there are 3 solidified ones.
I'm with you.
I think it's Kat, Giannis, and Tatum.
I agree.
I think the guards, you can make an argument for Cade and LaMelo starting. You can make an argument for Cade and Brunson, LaMelo and Brunson. Like, I think there's more variation with the guards. I
feel
think
like
the 3
Brunson
front court is locked.
What's our conversation going to be? Are we going to be who's most deserving?
You're
Who do we
all-star.
think? Like, because I feel like Cade and Brunson should start, given the fact that they're on competitive teams and they're doing their thing. Cade specifically is leading a team that's probably below average just from a talent perspective, and they're top 6, 7 in the East. With Brunson, he's been arguably the best player. Well, no, he's probably been the second best player on the Knicks, but he's having an amazing season. So I would start them both with the 3 forwards personally.
So Donovan Mitchell, he just fell off statistically too much. Even though the Cavs are by far and away the number 1 seed, even though there's going to be other All-Stars.
I just don't think he's had to be the best player on a given night for them.
I think he's really just deferred to Darius Garland and Mobley a lot.
He's not normal Donovan Mitchell.
Like, he's still fucking efficient as
He
shit,
is.
but he doesn't have to do he doesn't have to do that all the time.
And that's
like
not
their
a bad
clutchest
thing.
player has been Garland in the fourth quarter.
I think, the starters, I don't think it really matters that much to the discussion. I think what really matters is the people that we're going to leave out, because I felt like when I did the reserves and just the All-Stars in general for the West and East, I think there's going to be a lot of snubs. I think in the East,
a lot of great
there
players this
are
year.
more reasonable snubs. Like somebody I don't have as an All-Star is Jaylen Brown.
Neither do I.
I think that's
That
a
hurt my heart.
reasonable snub because efficiency has been lower than usual. It's below league average, so that makes sense.
I think Tyler Herro's another one.
Tyler Herro is also a player that, he's going to get snubbed. I think Franz Wagner, because of his injury, also is not going to make it.
I agree. Another
So
one.
with me, I think
Is that a Coro?
No, Boncaro.
Oh,
Cade Cunningham, LaMelo, Tatum, Giannis, Cat, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Brunson, to me, are locked.
Wait, that's your reserves?
No, he's saying the players to him that are stamped locked. Those
That I feel like they're all stars 100%
Okay.
is Cade, LaMelo, Tatum, Giannis, Cat, Mobley, Jalen Brunson,
I would
Donovan
add-
Mitchell. That's 8.
I would add Dame to that list.
I agree with this.
think
I
Dame
think
is
Dame.
locked?
I think Dame.
Dame has been pretty great.
He's
this
been
year.
very good this year.
So we could just go with our reserves, just one by one, and see which guys that we had.
Let's do it.
Who's your reserve? Your
My
first
first reserve was, in fact, Damian Lillard.
All right, can we do that? And if we all have him, facts. Damian Lillard,
For sure.
Me too.
Given the efficient year he's having, 25 points a game. I think he's
7
shooting,
assists.
I think he's shooting about 41% from the 3-point line.
39.
39.
But on 9 attempts.
Yeah, he's been back to regular
Yes.
Dame. So I would have him. I think he's a lock in the All-Star game.
I agree. All right, keep going. Who do you have?
Trae Young would be my second one. I get the whole efficiency thing, but I just think
He's averaging 12 assists.
Yeah,
pretty
that's what I'm
much.
saying. I think he's been probably the best playmaker in the East by far. I think he's been spearheading a pretty good offense. I think his on and off. He's their only real efficient playmaker on the team. He's their heaviest ball handler. And I think for the same way with LaMelo, I think for him his efficiency is bad, but at the same time, his playmaking has just been too godly to keep him off. So I have Trae Young on the All-Star team.
I respect the Trae Young nod. Do we have Zach LaVine?
I do have Zach LaVine.
I have Zach LaVine.
Okay, Zach LaVine has been back to Zach LaVine. When he's healthy, this is the player that he is. We're talking about 24 on 52 from the field, 46% from 3 on 7 attempts. And I understand the Chicago Bulls are this inconsistent, ugly team that, we're waiting for them to kick the bucket and tread their players. The way that Zach LaVine's been playing, it's kind of giving the Chicago Bulls false hope that they could be a play-in team and play for something, which is going to be unfortunate to Bulls fans. But LaVine has been a star this year. I think, to me, I contemplated having him as my all-star starter, to be honest with you. He's just been that efficient. But you look at what Cade and LaMelo have been doing. I gave the nod to LaMelo as my starter, but no doubt, I think all three of these guys should be locked.
So somebody's left off if you have Zach in.
I don't have Trae Young as an all-star for me.
Is Darius Garland an all-star for you?
Darius Garland's not an all-star for me.
So Zach LaVine's over Darius Garland?
Well, again, Zach LaVine's
He's a forward. He's a forward. I have him in as my third forward on the bench.
You get 2 guards.
So you get 2 guards. So my 2 guards on the
guards.
reserves are Cade and Donovan Mitchell. My forwards are LaVine, Mobley. I do have Pascal Siakam. I think he's been amazing this season on the defensive side of the ball, averaging 20 points a game. He's been efficient as a scorer as well. But really, he has been the defensive anchor for them. I got some analytics. Shout out to Clean the Glass, of course. He is right now a minus 13.2 points per possession. That's 100th percentile. A minus 4.6 EFG. That's 96th percentile. A point differential of plus 12.7. That's 94th percentile. He's been one of the most effective players in basketball. And really, for the Pistons right now, where they are the 6th seed, he's been their most... Thank you very much for the Pacers. He's been their most consistent player all season long. And I want to give Tyrese his flowers. Recently, he started to pick it up too, but all season, you've counted on Pascal Siakam, and he's been there to deliver. He would be my last forward that I have.
I'll be honest. I had LaVine as a guard. So if that moves over to... Oh, no, because then I have... That still
like
runs
between
out of
Zach LaVine and Jalen Johnson, who would you put in that?
I had both.
I'd have LaVine over Jalen Johnson.
I personally would have Jalen Johnson make the All-Star game over Trae Young. And I know that that's a bit harsh, understanding that Trae Young really facilitates the offense. But
why, though?
The defensive side, mostly for the fact that he has been, other than like the first 2 weeks of basketball, he's been uberly efficient. I know recently he's been banged up a little bit.
Trae's been their best player, though.
He is the best player, but with how many guards there are, that's the reason why I couldn't give it to him either.
When you look at the guards in the East, it's Cade, LaMelo, Trae, Brunson, Mitchell, Dame.
Yes, there's so many guards.
That's about 6 already. Did I mention Garland? That would be 7.
Do you have Garland making it?
I don't see. I think the Cavs have to have 3 All-Stars.
I think they will have 3 All-Stars.
I don't hate that.
I feel like the Cavaliers right now, they're a historically great regular season team, and they're all collectively taking a sacrifice for their numbers not to be, the numbers of what these other players have been. But, like Zach LaVine, I think being labeled as a front court player might save him from not getting snubbed in the All-Star discussion. But if it's like, if I'm just picking between Garland and LaVine for a spot in the All-Star game, I would go with Darius Garland.
I understand the logic.
The numbers aren't that far off. He's averaging more assists. He's been just as efficient, and he's on the best team in the NBA record-wise. I feel like the Cavaliers have to have 3. I don't feel good about snubbing Darius Garland. I just think he's been that impactful for them. With the East, Evan Mobley's a lock. I think for sure. Mitchell is a lock. Jalen Brunson's a lock. Donovan Mitchell, because of his numbers aren't the best, but how
he's
good
the
he
best
is.
player on the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
He's a lock.
I had some trouble just looking at the on-off numbers because I feel like right now, because we're very early in the season, it could be like all over the place. And I put the point differentials next to every player. LaMelo is plus 11.7 when he's on the court for the Hornets, and it makes sense. He's one of their only great players,
literally.
and when he's not on the court,
Hey, shout out to Mark Williams. Mark Williams has been fucking hooping, bro.
the fuck out of me,
But,
man.
like,
Hopefully he can stay healthy, yeah.
looking at Mitchell, he's a plus 0.2 when he's on
Mitchell,
the
you
court.
said?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland is minus 2. Does that make me believe that they're actually better when Garland's not on the court? It doesn't.
They're just amazing.
I just think that exactly their bench is just so much better than other teams' benches that they just fucking roll over these teams, and that's what, makes the point differentials look bad. When you have LaMelo, who has like a plus 11 point differential, when he gets off the court, there's really nobody for the Hornets. And, they get waxed by teams when he's not on the court. But just what I'm saying is when you have a better team, these on-off numbers can fluctuate a lot because, you don't have a complete team that can overmatch other teams that you're facing.
Cleveland has a top 10 or top 15 net rating of all time right now. So if Donovan Mitchell, the fact that he's even positive as is, because the thing is, they're plus 11, plus 12 as a team net rating. What's he going to be, plus 5, and you're plus 17 with Donovan Mitchell? Like, that would just be insane.
Yeah, because the front court players I have, I feel like it's 6 total that you have to have because,
Can I also say this? I know that the entire Cavaliers team is amazing. Didn't you mention that SGA's plus, his on and off is at like plus 9?
It's
because they're dog shit without
Agreed,
offense,
but that's kind of what I'm saying. So it's really... It differentiates between teams and situations.
Cavs have multiple playmakers.
An interesting stat about that is SGA is plus 14.5.
14, excuse me.
Jalen Williams.
J-Dub or Jalen Williams, the big...
J-Dub.
Okay.
Minus 11.9.
Point differential?
Yes.
That's
Man,
crazy.
you have multiple playmakers. It makes life a shit ton easier.
Because most of the time when SGA comes off, they're leaving J-Dub on the court.
Yeah, I think with OKC, they just really don't have like an initiator. And, they have a lot of talent, but they have a lot of talent that's like, they're not shot creators. They're like more so like frisky defenders and stuff.
Role players.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Cleveland. You can take Donovan out, you leave Garland in. You can take Garland out, you leave Donovan in. You
Ty
have Ty
Jerome, Karis LeVert, they all can create for themselves.
You have guys that can do it.
And for other players. But the front court, if there's 6 front court players, mine would be Tatum, Giannis, Cat, Mobley, Jalen Johnson, and then it's between Zach LaVine, Jared Allen, and Siakam.
Jalen Johnson over Siakam?
Yeah, I would go Jalen Johnson. I think Jalen Johnson has been.
I think they're having similar seasons, so they'll give the nod to the new guy.
Jalen Johnson's averaging 20, 10, and 5, and his point differential is plus 13.7. 58% true shooting. Jalen Johnson, I feel like, has taken a serious all-star leap. I can hear the argument between him and Pascal Siakam. I think it's very close, but I would give the nod to Jalen Johnson personally.
I agree. I think, my front court players would be Tatum, Giannis, Kat, and then I have Mobley, Jalen Johnson, and Zach. So those would be my 6 guys.
Yeah, so we're not too far off.
Who gets snubbed from the guards? That's like the real thing.
For me, the snub would be Trae Young. That's who I believe will be snubbed. I think Trae Young's been great this year, no doubt. With every point you made about Trae Young, what he's meant to them, obviously as a playmaker, we see it every single season, but this season specifically in the East, he's been the best playmaker in basketball. It's just when you look at how many guards there are that are in winning situations that have also been playing some pretty high-level basketball, I think that we've seen Trae Young get snubbed for similar seasons like he's having this year, although the playmaking is at a little bit higher of a level than what he's given us in the past. But again, there's been so many guards that are in so many great situations that I also think that Garland may be a snub too, and that's kind of crazy to think about just because it'll either be Garland or Jared Allen that'll get snubbed. And honestly, either which way you shake it, I'm cool with either one of them making it.
Backcourt's easier to me because you got 2 starters, obviously 2 on the bench, Cade Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Dame, and then you have LaMelo Ball as a wild card. He's averaging 30, so you really have just one other wild card spot for one of these guards. So are you going to go with? I have Tyler Hero here. I feel like Tyler Hero's having a great season. Of course, the Jimmy Butler drama that's going on, the terrible season that Bam's having offensively. Tyler Hero's had to be their best player, and he's been their best player. So I think Darius Garland, if you want to put him there, number 1 seed, I get that. I think that's fair. But what Tyler Hero has had to do, there's no other option, right? Like Darius Garland, as great as he's been, he's had an all-star cast around him. Tyler Hero has been efficient. He's giving you 25 and 5. He's having the best season of his career. So I gave Tyler Hero the nod over Darius Garland. Yeah,
I think for me, Cade, Brunson, Dame, Trae, LaMelo, D. Mitch would be my 6, my guards. DG's a snub. I do think, having 3, like he'll have the clutch nod, one of the best players on the best teams in the league. He'll have a couple things, but I just think, these guys, I'll give it the edge because they've been the driving force. I think with Cleveland, it can be Mobley one night, then it's Garland one night, then it's Donovan Mitchell one night. Like, they're just so stacked. I really don't think Jared Allen is a snub. Like, genuinely, I don't think I would put him over Jalen Johnson. I don't think I'd put him over Evan Mobley. I think Zach or Pascal is a cool argument to have him. I think he's just been the 4th best player in his team. He's really good. That's not to say he's not. But for me, the 6th spot has got to be Trae Young. Just like you mentioned with Tyler Hero, what Trae Young has been doing with that team in just terms of being the true one initiator on that team and the playmaking machine that he has been. And I know he doesn't have the efficient numbers, but he doesn't have a Eric Spo or a defensive minded team. This is a team that runs solely off Trae Young being an elite playmaker.
I'm cool with that.
If I were to give my all-stars,
You are.
just the starters would be Cade, LaMelo, Tatum, Giannis, and Cat. The bench would be Mobley, Brunson, Mitchell, Jalen Johnson, Zach, and then I have 2 wild card spots, and it's really it's Garland, Lillard, or Trae. One of those guys is getting snubbed.
I feel like Lillard's got to be locked. He's having a crazy season. Let's see. Let's pull up Lillard's numbers.
He's averaging 25 and 7 on 62% true shooting. Like Damian Lillard's been fantastic.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he's been fantastic, but
they're 23 and 17.
are they as good as the
They're the
Cavs?
4th seed.
They're
DG
not.
numbers are similar. He's like the only guy in the 50, 40, 90.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Darius Garland this year is averaging 21 and 7, 63% true shooting. So I feel like it's hard. One of these 3 dudes are gonna get snubbed though.
Unfortunate.
And but you don't think there's an argument for Jared Allen over Jalen Johnson?
Nah, I think
at all?
I think new kid on the block, second best player in the Hawks.
I know he's a new kid. I'm just talking about like their impact.
See, but I've said this. We said it right before the show started. Just because you're the new kid doesn't necessarily mean they'll give you the All-Star nod. The Kings were
I
2
think,
seed, and Sabonis and Fox didn't make
but
it.
they weren't new kids on the block.
But they were new to dominating the league.
Fair.
Dominating.
I do think Jalen Johnson's had a better season
I think he's
than
more
Jared Allen.
impactful than Jared Allen.
Yes, because of the situation around him. He kind of has to be. He's the second best player in the team. He's the second best creator. He's one of the best playmaking wings in basketball.
He is.
He's also great in transition. Jared Allen, I feel like he's great defensively, but you also have Mobley. I feel like offensively, he relies a lot on D. Mitch and Garland. That's not to say there's something wrong with that, but he does a lot. Like he relies on them guys to get him going. With Jalen Johnson, it's like him and Trae Young.
His role's bigger.
Yeah.
And I understand.
I mean, I feel like for me, between Trae, Damon, Garland, I think Trae is the locked-in player of those 3.
Over Dame.
He's averaging 12 assists per game. I feel like that's getting overlooked.
I don't love his efficiency, man.
I
get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's fair.
The playmaking is elite. He never will be questioned on his playmaking. I've been waiting for an efficient Trae Young season. I know
you're
that
ever
he's a
gonna really
small
get
guard.
56.5% true shooting. It's not terrible.
I get
Especially
that we
for the
have to
shots he
use
takes.
true shooting. I get it. But what is it? 41% from the field,
Yeah. I mean, he's taking a lot of threes.
34% from 3.
Taking a lot of threes. I get it though. I mean, I wasn't expecting.
And my guy's LaMelo Ball.
I wasn't
He's not
expecting Trae
efficient.
Young to go up here and average 45% from the field, 38% from 3. It's just not something he's really done.
He gave it to me once. He should have never did it.
That's what I'm saying. Pause.
You know what I mean,
Yeah.
though. But like you averaged, you had a season where you were 38% from 3. I know that it was one time, but you had the hype of being this amazing 3-point shooter. And I'm not saying you needed to be Steph Curry. No one was saying that. But 38% from 3 for your build, for your level, your style of play, I don't think that's unreasonable of me to ask. I know you always have the ball in your hand, but I need you to be a little bit more efficient. Just be a little bit more refined. That's kind of my only critique with Trae. But this season, what he's had to be as a playmaker. I mean, every year of his career, what he has to be for the Atlanta Hawks offense to be as great as it's been. But Jalen Johnson has been a great option for him this year because, again, like Riv mentioned, he can also handle the ball in his own right.
I just feel like it's very difficult for me to snub the leading assists per game leader in the NBA. That's why.
I understand.
Like I know
I'm
the
interested to see when we get over to the West if
Yeah.
you snub some other people.
who are you trying to?
Sabonis is leading the league in rebounding right
let's
now.
get to it.
Sabonis
let's
is
jump.
he's
Let's jump
an
to the
all-star.
West, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm just making sure.
Come on, this is our guy.
making sure.
So I'm gonna snub. I think
I'm so considerate with our.
it really sucks. I don't want to snub Garland, but I really feel like Garland's gonna be the odd man out. Did you hear what D Mill said about Garland being over LaMelo Ball?
What was the argument?
He said that he deserves to be an all-star more.
The efficiency,
The winning.
He's just been so clutch this year. I mean, like at times when D Mitch is on the floor, like Darius Garland's been the guy they went to.
So we've been talking about a lot of like these other players getting snubbed, but you don't think? I mean, the fan voting is on LaMelo's side.
That's why
a lot.
But no doubt.
Just in like,
I think 30 points, you fake got to get in.
do you think he's a lock?
Did Bradley Beal get in when he averaged?
He did
30?
not get in 1 year. No, when he did.
It's kind of the same vibe.
It's nuts.
Kind of the same vibe.
Brandon Miller's averaging 21.
Not great efficiency either.
He's
No,
been up
probably
and
not.
down.
No, I'm not saying that to like
Hornets
say he's.
suck.
I know what
It's
you're
just
saying.
he's kind of like.
You're saying he's got someone?
I'm
I feel like
saying
you're
you look
averaging
at the
30.
numbers.
He's getting the
21.
highlights. We talked about the one-legged threes.
I don't mind LaMelo
40%.
getting in.
I don't
gonna
mind
get
it
in.
too. It's just there's a lot of like I
Brandon
think
A lot
Miller's
of
also
kids
been
look
on and
at
off
up
the
to him
court.
too. Like a lot of kids, you're gonna vote for LaMelo Ball or Darius Garland. They're gonna go with LaMelo Ball.
so. For you, if you had to vote for one, LaMelo or Darius Garland, who should be in the All-Star game, who would you vote for?
It's tough.
That's a tough ass question.
What do you value? You know, you're gonna value the guy that's gonna give you 30 in highlights. I mean, Garland can give you highlights too. I'm not saying he's not. He's obviously.
It's so
you know.
tough because LaMelo's in such a dog shit situation. But I would value the winning more. Like, what are you doing for me? What value are you bringing to a championship level team or a contender? And what DG is doing with Cleveland, it's been pretty impressive.
Like if LaMelo was having this type of season, and it was kind of like what Cade is doing, where like
He's a
they're
lock.
like respectable,
starter.
like they're like competitive.
Maybe.
Then he's a locked-in starter. I think he's gonna be locked in an All-Star game regardless.
That's why I think Cade's a locked-in starter.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I feel like LaMelo's gonna be in an All-Star game regardless because of fan vote. But like
I mean, if he doesn't get
between him and Garland, I just like if I'm just level playing field, LaMelo, Dame, Trey, Garland. I feel like all those guys have been more valuable to their teams than LaMelo.
Dame, Trey, Garland.
It's just unfair to LaMelo because
they've been losing because the team is dog shit.
It's just so bad.
Like if LaMelo, I don't think he would be as good as like Darius Garland how he fits on Cleveland. Same thing with like the Bucks and Giannis, but they would still be winning with him.
Excuse me. LaMelo has to play this way. There's really no other consistent
If he's
guy.
not taking 25 shots a night,
They don't have
they're
a
cooked.
chance.
It's awful. Like the offense is awful.
It's unfortunate. He'll get the bad team vibe. You know, it's unfortunate.
I'm not throwing a slight at Brandon. I think Brandon has the talent to be great. He's not there yet because of the inconsistency. 1, 2, he has struggled with staying on the court this season too. Now Mark Williams back in the lineup. I mentioned that preseason talking about the Hornets. I think Mark Williams is talented when he's on the court.
He's worse
back,
than Brandon Miller.
and he's showing it. And exactly
Injury-wise,
exactly
both,
right.
but yeah.
Exactly right though. He has been unable to consistently stay on the court. Their big three of LaMelo, Brandon, and Mark Williams has failed to stay healthy consistently. That includes LaMelo. But this season, it's solely relied on what can LaMelo Ball do night in, night out. And obviously, it's going to lead to inefficient basketball when all the attention goes your way, which is why I would still say who means the most, it's LaMelo Ball.
Because of all the players
Jordan Poole's
here,
been pretty efficient in Washington.
Where's Jordan Poole in this conversation?
Unfortunate,
Should've
but
pushed it.
because of all the players,
like 4 wins.
LaMelo is by far the least efficient player. Like LaMelo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at first,
He's shooting 33% from three, correct?
Yeah,
On
now
13
might be lower.
attempts. I think it's 33
Take
on
some
13.
crazy fucking
it's
threes.
33.6% on 13
Oh, so
attempts.
34.
42%
Take
from
that.
the field.
You need
You will
34
take
on
34.
13?
You will
You
take
kidding me?
34.
That's terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah.
But again, it's due
No, it's-
to
no, I get you.
situation.
I'm with you. I'm
like
with
they
you.
Trae
have
Young
no
shot
choice.
34.
I don't think him jacking up 13
No,
threes.
OD.
Is,
34 on
like-
13.
I don't think him jacking up 13 threes a night is due to situation. He could definitely get more paint touches.
I guess.
There are some threes that he just takes like that are just
Yeah.
Oh, no, I agree.
Just for a
very
vibe.
bad
I
shots.
agree.
Just for a vibe. You just pull up.
Look at Bradley Bill's 30-point per game season.
Yeah, you're
With
gonna
Russ?
see one of them. He was not an all-star.
Was he averaging 30 at the All-Star break? Oh, he's probably
Yes.
close. Probably like
It was
20.
30.5 and then
He was
31.
averaging. He was balling that year.
I'll be honest. He was pretty efficient. 48, 34,
Was this with Russ?
88 from the free throw line. I think the first which one? I don't remember which one it was.
The first season he was averaging 30.
Obviously, he's taking a lot more twos, so you know it's a different game. Yeah, LaMelo. I think he gets in for me though.
What was that conversation we were having on Twitter? That boy nice.
That boy nice.
That boy
man.
nice.
That's all I care about really.
that
when
boy
I talk,
nice.
when
That
I
boy
when I
nice.
watch LaMelo, I have fun watching
Some
him
guys
play.
get that boy nice tag.
You know who else I have fun watching play, and I almost considered putting him in my All-Star ballot? Jalen Green. I swear to God, I tried it.
No, you're nuts.
I couldn't do it.
Hey, bro, after this, 7-game
We needed
stretch
a
he's
rocket,
on,
and I
shit.
don't know if we're gonna have a rocket in the All-Star game.
Here we go.
Bradley Beal, the first year he averaged 30, he didn't make the All-Star game. The
Yep.
very next year, he made it when Russ was on the team. That year, the Wizards, his first year where he averaged 30, the Wizards were 15th in offensive rating. The Hornets are 29th in offensive rating.
I'm
this
hearing Bradley Beal got snubbed, man. We should put him in this year to make up for it.
year. Bradley Beal. NBA Western Conference ballots. We're going to start with the starters.
This was pretty easy for me. I think we're all gonna have the same 4, and then the last guard's obviously gonna be exactly like the East. But I'm gonna go SGA as the obvious ones. SGA, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama,
Yes.
Easy.
LeBron James.
No.
LeBron James is not
Kevin
over Kevin
Durant.
Durant.
Kevin Durant.
You knew that. You knew that.
LeBron will probably start because of fan voting.
But we don't talk about fan voting.
Yeah, I talk about what
It's
actually is going to
KD.
happen, and what's actually going to happen is that LeBron James is going to start.
It's corrupt. It's a corrupt system. That's what it
He's
is.
a fan
We're
favorite.
talking about the greatest of all time. It's not
Yeah,
corrupt.
it's not great right now.
Who's your fifth guy?
My fifth is Kyrie Irving.
But you just be consistent.
I'm being consistent.
Fan
I think
voting, Steph's
Fan
getting
vote,
it.
yeah.
Stop.
What are we doing?
See, you're not being fair.
it's on me. It's on me.
Got him.
You got me as hell.
I'll be honest. I put Steph in for
Because I forgot that Steph Curry was number 2
I put him
right
on the
now.
bench.
I started Steph.
All right.
I have
I don't-
Steph as a 6th on.
Okay. I'm not mad at Kyrie.
Well,
Who'd you have start?
7th. KD.
I fucked up because I just said fuck how they do it. I had Braun and KD in.
Okay.
I respect that.
But because I didn't know.
Move me to the 2.
No, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know Kyrie. I thought Kyrie was injured. But if Kyrie's healthy,
played,
if Kyrie's healthy, I have him starting.
I feel like like you said, the first 4 is solidified. Outside of LeBron, I think it's Wemby, Jokic, KD, and
KD should
SGA.
undoubtedly.
Those are
start.
locked. The 5th dude is hard because Anthony Edwards has been great, but he's been a little bit underwhelming this year, just
Yo, his
relative to
3-point
expectation.
shooting is
It's
insane.
Let's talk
insane.
about this playmaking gap. That's
No, it's dog shit.
It's just never gonna happen
With
this
love.
play.
With
Like,
love.
what's up?
I love
And
I
it
really
might not
like
happen.
Ant.
He's
But
young.
he's a 2 guard.
He's 20 what is he, 23?
that's
Oh,
his
but when we
archetype.
asked Jaylen Brown to do it, it was like, if we don't have this, I'm sorry, Jaylen
Anthony
Brown,
Edwards is
you're
a
mid.
much better playmaker than Jaylen Brown. though.
No, not really.
I think Anthony Edwards could still become a good playmaker. He's 23.
Way
I
better.
agree.
Like he's
But
young.
here's my thing with
Are we
that.
not
Dehls.
looking at the offensive infrastructure
Dehls,
around
here's
him?
my thing, Dehls. And
They have Jaden McDaniels.
Probably
Dehls.
got no shooting.
They
I
have
really-
literally Jaden McDaniels.
No,
bro.
I
Good
really hate the
good shit,
whole
Joel.
he's only 23 thing because I want to not saying you, but I'm saying in general. At one point, you want to say he's only 23. He has a lot of room to grow. Fair, I agree. Yes, but then on another notion, you want to put him in these uncomfortable
Top 20 all time.
conversations, top 20 all time, D-Wayne like runs, but then we can't critique him like one of the guys. We got to hit him with he's only 23 years. No, if you want to put him in those conversations, we say fuck the age. We are evaluating what you are right now.
I love
but
it.
if you want to use the age, that's fine. I agree. I feel like we should just sit there and wait. And since I'm evaluating what I'm seeing, he is by far, undoubtedly, what I see with my eyes, one of the worst, like literally the worst play-making stars I've ever seen in my life. He cannot do the
He's not
average
that wrong.
normal things, like the legit normal things. He can't run a simple pick and roll consistently on a play-by-play basis.
He won't
It's
throw lobs
ridiculous.
either. He won't throw
the
lobs because he doesn't
don't
trust
even
it.
get me started on the lobs.
He refuses to throw the lob to Rudy Gobert.
I would not throw a lob to Rudy Gobert too. I can't.
I
blame
guess
him.
that's a fair statement. That's fine, but there's so
You
many
have to
times
make
where
the
he's
right
right in the
basketball play
agreed
every time.
And at least we
And
can
he
go
doesn't
and
even
say
do
it's,
that.
it's Rudy's fault. We
I
can
seen
go
Rudy
and say
get
that.
open in the paint. He like, fuck this going up. And you know what? If you want to
I'll
play
rock
like that,
with that.
all right,
Yeah, I'll rock with that.
like that's cool. Like at least Jaylen Brown, he don't shy away from who he is. Yeah, I can't play make, but I can go get this bucket.
No cap.
I can go play some defense. Like
Wish he could
it's-
remember to dribble again.
It's
been bad.
He'll be
this year,
back.
man.
Relax.
It's been bad this
Listen.
year.
What happened the last time you doubted him? Relax.
I need you to doubt again, bro. I'll be honest.
We
I
need him
need
back
you to
You guys
doubt
here.
hate when I'm
Yeah,
right.
but-
You guys hate when I'm right.
You weren't right.
That year,
No.
I was definitely
Oh my
right.
God.
Now,
The year after, I was wrong.
the Heat series when they lost in 7
The
definitely.
year
was right.
after, Drew, you got it. I was wrong. I didn't say a word. I might be back. I might be
Please.
back.
He'll be back
You need
to
it.
anything.
Oh, but yeah, I'll say Kyrie's a starter.
For me, the last guard spot is between Curry, Edwards, Kyrie, and De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron Fox has been exceptional this year.
Wait till you hear where Drew has Fox.
He probably doesn't have him. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of players.
A lot of guys.
I gave my nod
a lot of dudes.
to Norman Powell.
Norman Powell was fake crazy.
Shout out to Norman
No, it's not.
Powell,
He's
but
been so efficient. He's been a dog this
he's
season.
been better than Fox. You thought too long.
Norman's been amazing.
He's been good.
He has not been better than Fox.
He's been playing some good ass basketball. I'll say that. I don't have a single clipper on this.
You know what it
person.
is, bro? And I'm going to be honest with you. No, he hasn't been better than Fox, but I want Norman Powell in the All-Star game.
I respect that.
I think that's really what it comes down
Because
to.
it's not
If
going to
you
happen.
take
if
that
it's not
route,
this
I
year.
respect the shit out of that.
That's really where I'm standing on it.
I respect
I
that.
want to see Norman Powell in the All-Star game. Kind of to your thought process a little bit of like, they'll favor the new kid. More so, it's an amazing story what's happening with Norman
kill
Powell.
him.
The way that one has backed up what he said in the offseason. Addition by subtraction.
pretty
PG's
crazy.
gone, but I'm here. We're good.
Yep.
And they're still a top 6 seed in the Western Conference while he has been
We doubted
one of
the
the
shit out of
most
him.
consistent, efficient scorers in the NBA this year. That's really why I want to see him in the
Norman
All-Star
Powell
game.
being that. It's just
No,
so
because
crazy.
bro, at the
No,
start of
I'm
the,
with-
the
it's
start of the season,
insane.
we're like, bro, the
Crazy.
Thunder are gonna get a top 5 pick again. Once we heard the Kawhi news, and then shout out to Norman Powell, shout out to James Harden, Zubac. I mean,
They're
they've
really
all
good.
been playing well.
They're good.
My last guard starter is going to be Anthony Edwards. I think he's still having
Starter?
a great season.
Yo, 44% from 3 on the amount of threes that he's had.
He's averaging 26, 6, and 4.
His mid-range has definitely fallen off.
Those are great numbers still.
I just want to see him trust attacking the basket again.
He missed the clutch 3 against the Warriors last night.
He hasn't been clutch this
Is it a part of him that doesn't attack at the same level
settles.
because he's not that great of a bailout passer too?
Also, the spacing is shit.
I think that's the number one reason. But I'm wondering if another reason is he does not trust himself as a bailout passer.
I think the number one reason right now is just the infrastructure around him.
Definitely number one.
All defenders are sitting in gaps and they're playing him like the Mavericks played him in the conference finals. He's kind of getting that defensive coverage every single game. And there's going to be moments where he's making the right pass. There are going to be some moments where he does settle. He's still playing really well. He just recently had a 50-point game, recently had a 40-point game.
They got beat by 30 that game. They were getting their ass. Wait,
30? No, they didn't lose by 30.
50-point game against Detroit?
They didn't lose by 30.
They were getting fucked.
Okay, you're lying.
They were getting
lose
fucked.
by 30.
In the beginning,
they lost.
They were getting
They
fucked.
lost by a considerable amount.
In the beginning, they were getting fucked.
Who cares about garbage time?
It wasn't garbage time.
And Cade had an elite game, and they won.
No, yes. Cade was awesome. But Edwards was the only person that showed up. I think the problem with the Timberwolves right now
a 7-point game.
is that it was a 7-point game.
Oh, I'm lying.
Against the Pistons, it was 14.
Yes, I was lying.
Yeah, big cap. Promise you it wasn't.
Sorry, January 17, 2024. That's on me.
It wasn't 30. That's
all right,
and did have 53.
You doubled the
They was
amount.
up by like 20 at a point of that game.
But that's just because the only person that showed up was Edwards in that game.
I agree.
That's the thing is like
He was the only him and Rand were the only ones in double digits. In that game he had 2 assists.
because
I'm just trolling.
he was just bugging.
2 assists, 6 turnovers.
Yeah, because
right,
one of the boys you adore like shit, is also one of the worst offensive players in basketball.
But I feel like that. Who?
Jayden, he sucks, bro. He's also not helping the situation. He's not helping the situation.
I don't
bro.
disagree with you.
Like he's literally what you clown Caruso for being. That's Jayden, but worse. Like he's legitimately he can't pass. The dribbling is funky. The shot is not there. Like it's really disgusting to watch.
I feel like
Brown.
Edwards caught the most scrutiny after the Boston game. When he didn't play well, that's when he caught the most scrutiny, and then he called out the team and stuff. Since that game, he had 53, 6 and 2, 37, 7 and 8 against the Clippers.
2 is assists, by the way.
32, 9 and 3
rebounds.
against the Pelicans. 21, 3 and 7 against Orlando. 15, 5 and 6 didn't play well against Memphis. 41, 6 and 7 against the Wizards, and then against the Warriors last night, 28, 8 and 2. So
assist or rebound?
the assist numbers usually will be lower.
I'm saying, was it 8 assists or 8 rebounds?
No, 8. If I say 26, 8 and 2, the middle number is usually a rebound.
Yeah,
okay.
PRA.
Just making sure.
Yes.
2 assists again.
Come on, catch up, Dehls. No, but Anthony Edwards, listen, I think right now it's just the offensive infrastructure. I mean, there's no spacing, and Mike Conley, who's their only other initiator,
that's a problem.
He can't get by anybody no more.
But we've talked about
He's washed.
We talked about the
I know we've talked about it, but they haven't done nothing.
There's nothing to do.
But Joel, to be fair, we've looked at players like LaMelo Ball. We've looked at players like Cade Cunningham, who've had dog shit infrastructures, and you can still see them. He can be a high-level playmaker. He can be an elite playmaker. He can be a great passer. You see the upgrade in their game.
Edwards isn't a point guard.
I understand that, but even Donovan Mitchell, we've seen upgrades in his hand. Like, dude,
he's the initiator of the offense.
He can't make foundational, fundamental passes.
He doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as the players that he's talking about.
He doesn't, because obviously they have Randall. They keep giving him
He's
the
not
ball.
a point guard. And listen, I feel like that's what we have to.
But
Anthony Edwards,
I can't
be like just because he's a point guard.
Anthony Edwards is never going to be a player that averages 7 assists per game.
I'm not asking him.
That's not going to happen.
I'm not even talking about assists.
He's 99th percentile in usage.
But usage doesn't always mean
skewed.
the
31% of the time he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, what are the other players though? Cade and LaMelo.
99%. I have a look.
No,
I
Cade
will
is
look.
definitely up there.
I will look.
Cade is up there for sure.
Yeah, but
31 is a ton.
Nah, he has to.
To be fair, it is 3% lower than last season. 2% lower.
Anthony Edwards is always going to be like a 5 assist player around that.
I agree.
He's going to hover around that.
But
right.
I don't think.
Would you like to hear
usage?
usage?
The excuse of he's a 2 guard is nuts.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
No, I mean, I just think his identity, what he is just score. He doesn't have. I'm not saying that he doesn't have to improve the playmaking.
Yes.
I think he does.
That's the biggest.
But I don't think that it's he. I don't think His role is to have the burden of the entire playmaking of the offense on him. And that's what it is right now.
That's fair.
I mean, okay, like I like put that burden on a 23-year-old is understandable.
It's not even that. It's just his play style.
Yeah.
We have, but like,
literally Cade right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I think part of the
Cade's
reason
a
to
point
get Julius
guard.
Randle was to try to take away some of that.
Cade has always been a point guard. Cade has been a point guard since high school. That's his position.
That's a fact.
He plays point guard. Edwards has always been
but you
just
want to
a
get into
bucket.
that. You want to get into that upper echelon talent. Every guy, except probably SGA, Tatum, great playmaker. LeBron, great playmaker. Steph Curry, great playmaker. When you're in that upper echelon, you have to upgrade your game. Like you have to be kind of a all around offensive player.
If you're the
Because
initiator
SGA
of
is
the
averaging
offense,
5.9 assists per game.
And I think SGA is an average to below average
agree with
playmaker.
that.
I think he is, but he's such a dominant, bona fide scorer and a consistently good defender. You're okay with it.
I just feel like for me, what I want Edwards to do the most, and really not Edwards, is what I want the team to do, is just surround him with players that fit his game more. Like
So if you surround him with shooters, is he going to make the proper fundamental passes?
well, I think number one, you have to surround him with. You have to put a real
needs a
point guard
point
next
guard,
to him.
fact.
He needs a
Okay.
real point guard next to him.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
We saw what happened when Chris Paul went to the Suns. It elevated the entire offense.
I agree.
They need a point guard. And I'm not saying you get
I
a
don't hate
Chris
it.
Paul level player. Would it be nice? Sure. But
Like Alonzo Ball or something, or Tyus Jones.
we've been asking. Tyus Jones is the answer to every point guard hole.
I feel like
But
Tyus
agree with
Jones
that
and Mike
answer.
Conley as passers are kind of the same.
I don't know if Tyus Jones changes the trajectory of that
Like
team
Mike
whatsoever.
Conley 2 years ago and Tyus Jones now as a
What's
passer.
Tyus Jones doing right now that's been like, oh yeah, you're not
I just think
sure,
Tyus
like,
just doesn't
Tyus
turn
Jones
the
is
ball over.
organized, or he just organizes the offense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
Get
like
a nice TJ McConnell in the building.
you don't like Anthony Edwards is one of the best off-ball players in the league. Like he's an amazing catch and shoot player. He's an amazing catch and shoot player. Last year, he was better on catch and shoot threes than Cat last year. Like, he plays amazing off the ball. And I want that to be more balanced. Like right now, he can't do that because he has to carry the burden of the offense. But ideally, I think Anthony Edwards, I think, for one, let's make no mistake. Cade is having a phenomenal year. LaMelo's playing really well, too. Anthony Edwards just averaged 27, 7, and 6 on a run
Here we go.
to the Western
Bro,
Conference
did he do
Finals.
your job?
Yeah, no, he was a dog last year.
One of the best off-ball players.
This year, though, he's taking a bit of a step back. When we were anticipating,
How many two guards that are
step up?
all-star level players are better off the ball than Anthony Edwards?
Well, now
Devin Booker.
you're really confining the fucking
I'm
the
trying-
NBA world
what
here.
else does
to-
he
Yeah,
do?
I mean, off ball.
I feel like catch and shoot is the easiest thing to do. What else does he do off ball?
Well, he moves around well off the ball. He knows how to redirect himself and find the gaps in defenses.
Okay, I'll look more into that.
Yeah, like,
I'll look more
I
into
just
that.
feel
We're not
like
taking your word for it.
Anthony Edwards
I
already.
gotta look more into that.
He already
better than
at a
MJ.
young age had a great run that only rivaled like LeBron and Kobe for their age and the amount of points per game that he had in a given time span.
For sure, for
Tatum.
sure.
You know,
for sure.
so even if this year hasn't been the best, I can't forget about what Anthony Edwards has done. But like I said, there's really no guard in the West that has like, outside of SGA, another guard that has been like, oh yeah, he's like a locked in starter.
I don't know. Kyrie Irving's been pretty amazing. For the thought that while Luka's been out,
But they've been losing recently.
they have, but they're still top.
Minnesota's
It's
been
like they
losing.
flip flop between
I
6
said
and
they're
7.
within like a game of
constantly.
each other.
Yeah, that 5, 6, 7 is a crapshoot right
And
now.
Ant's still the one. That's why I would give him the nod. I mean, I still have Steph, but I would give him the nod just because he's the one. Even though
also-
Kyrie's been doing it
Now, I
without
feel like
Luka,
Ant
you said.
starting is nuts, but we really don't have anybody else.
I got Steph.
It's not nuts. He's shooting 44%
Wait,
from
who'd you
three
have
on an
starting?
insane amount of attempts.
I fucked up. I thought Kyrie wasn't playing, so now Kyrie's playing.
No, I have Kyrie because he's fringe 50, 40, 90. He's 48%, 44% from three, if I'm not mistaken, on like 7, 8 attempts. He's been fantastic this season, and they've needed a spark while Luka's been out.
I'm really a Steph guy, man.
And they still are a fringe playoff team. Steph,
That's funny.
yeah, that's
he
nuts.
owns you guys.
You shouldn't say that out loud.
I'm the only one guy starting him here, bro.
He
Taking
doesn't
Kyrie
deserve,
Irving and shit.
I'm doing starters on who deserves it. I don't think
I
he
think
deserves
Steph
to be a
deserves
starter.
it over Kyrie. What's really the difference?
I think Kyrie's been more consistent this year, for sure.
So
Steph's
looking
been
at the
hotter lately,
numbers,
but
Yeah.
Steph is averaging 23, 5, and 6, 62% true shooting, plus 11.8
He'll
point
never not be
differential.
efficient. That's just
Kyrie Irving this year is averaging 24, 4.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 60% true shooting, plus
Kyrie's
three.
also
He's a
been
demon.
efficient. He's efficient too.
definitely not a Kyrie guy. Stamp that.
I feel bad because I kind of have.
Who's our reserves?
I don't know. The reserves are tough. There's gonna be in the West more so. There's a lot of snubs in the West.
I'm
I'm not
off
gonna lie.
myself.
I didn't think I thought the wild cards are tough, the 2 wild card spots, but like the 2 backcourt and 3 frontcourt players to me
Okay,
were kind of easy.
so let's
Two
do it.
backcourt players. Who's first?
I had Steph and Ant as my two backcourts.
Those are my
I
two
had
backcourts.
Steph starting, so I have Ant and Kyrie.
Yeah, I have Steph Curry.
Well, I have
and
Kyrie starting,
I have
so here we go.
James Harden.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have James Harden starting.
Okay,
I mean, no,
you're
no,
back.
not starting. James Harden is a reserve.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
you don't have Kyrie making the All-Star game?
I don't. Between him and James Harden, I think James Harden probably deserves it
Stop
more.
it.
He's the best player on the Clippers right now. He's
It's only
managing their entire offense.
Really, because he's running the offense.
Hey, that running the show
Norman
shit
might
matters.
be-
That's
He
big.
might
I mean,
be.
we just went on a spiel about Edwards' trash playmaking and Kyrie's average
Right.
like 4.8 assists per game. You know?
What does that?
Kyrie's
do?
never been this. He's
No.
never made it out to be
Oh
this.
yeah,
He
So
knows
it's
who he
really-
is as a man.
Yeah, it's really the wild card spots because front court on the bench, I got Jaren, LeBron, and AD.
I have. I would have. Damn, I have to cut somebody.
I have Jaren, AD, and KD because I have
No,
LeBron
I would have
starting.
AD, Braun, Jaren.
Okay, so
Because-
it's the wild card spots. That's the
Yes,
conversation.
because my guards that aren't wild cards are SGA, Edwards, Curry, and Harden. Those are my four, and my wild cards are front court players.
Why is Kyrie? Get Harden out of here with all due respect. Make him
Why
a
would
wild
I get
card.
Harden out of here?
Make
He's
him a wild
managing
card.
the offense.
That matters.
He's
Make him a
averaging
wild
22 and 8.
39% from the field. It's
Five
not
turnovers.
good.
You just had
Five turnovers.
you just told me Norman Powell's an
4.8.
all-star.
And he's been efficient as
He's
hell.
not been better than James Harden this year.
We're about to have a Norman Powell versus James.
If there's
This
one,
where Harden's life
I mean,
is.
if there's one Clipper that makes it, it's Norman Powell over Harden.
Nah,
Be
I'll go
honest,
Harden.
De'Aaron Fox or James Harden.
Fox.
This year,
Fox.
I'm
So
going
get
Fox.
me out of the Norman because I already put my hands up and
Fox.
said I want
It's a
Norman
story.
in
It's a
off
story.
a vibe.
It's a story.
It's Fox. It's Fox.
Fox or Harden, it's Fox.
It's Fox. Fox is actually in the game.
That's
for me.
what-
I can level with that.
He's
All
trying
right,
to
I
sneak
can
his
level
way
with
right
this might
back
be the
in.
first
you
time
know
I've
what I
ever
mean?
leveled.
But look,
This is
but
moving
no,
me.
but if we're talking about it was Harden versus Kyrie first.
I'm still riding with Kyrie.
I do think it's Harden.
Kyrie's my starter.
So my two wild cards are the Kings boys. It's Fox and Sabonis. I
respect that.
I think they both get it.
Yep.
I got the bonus in Shingun. I
Sengun?
can't. I feel like
I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at
Wait,
it
did you
either.
guys give your front court players?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who are your front court?
LeBron, AD, Jaren.
AD, Jaren, Braun.
I have KD, Jaren, and AD.
I had Sabonis, Anthony Davis, and Şengün.
You don't have.
Who's not?
Where's LeBron? Oh
Stop.
Sengun over LeBron.
You don't have Jaren. You don't. Do you have Jaren in the game?
Yeah, he's in a wild card with LeBron.
wait. LeBron and Jaren, the wild cards. They're both better than fucking Shingun, respectfully.
No, Jaren's been better than
Respectfully.
Sengun. But I get it. The best, one of the best
Second
teams.
seed.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the West. I don't hate it. I don't hate
Yeah,
it.
I'm just looking at the point
No,
differential.
I get it, but also
Now
Shingun's in
there's
there because of the Rockets.
8.9,
If the
baby.
Rockets were the 8 seed or 9 seed,
What's LeBron's point difference?
They
Minus
will.
12.7.
Actually,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Listen, if you want to
crying.
use Sengun,
That's why he
best
was a wild
player
card.
on one of the
That's
best
what-
teams
I
in the
feel
West, I respect
like
that
it's
argument.
crazy not having
But
an all-star for
Jaren,
him. He's locked.
best
He's
player
locked.
on one of the
He's
best
locked.
teams in the West, defensive anchor. Like he's been a demon.
They're playing the Grizzlies. Was it last night, the night before, bro? He hit some crazy step back three. I was like, God
No,
damn,
he's-
bro.
he's
But this
been a
is why I
demon.
felt bad about my snubs because, Devin Booker,
Brother, we're good.
He got
snub,
We're-
even though,
we're
like,
good
if
this
you
year.
look at his numbers,
his
they're not bad.
raw numbers are
No,
good.
when you're elite, your
25
raw
and-
numbers look good.
25
we
and
know.
7.
Watching this
It
eye
hurts.
test.
His
To
raw
me,
numbers are good.
This is
honest,
how
I'm
this is how
straight
I
up.
thought about it. Really,
Talk to me.
It's okay. Devin Booker,
Damn.
if he would make the All-Star game, it would be him and KD. Can I put two Suns in an All-Star
They
game?
are like the 12th
I'm
seed.
not
I
gonna lie.
can't.
We had this big debate in the offseason. Who's the best shooting guard? All these dudes fell the fuck off.
Thank God. 'cause
Donovan
Jaylen
Mitchell's
Brown
having
still
his
has a
worst statistical
conversation for it.
season.
Hey, my
Anthony
twin is still
Edwards,
efficient. My twin is still
JV
efficient.
who
is
moved
having a
up, though?
bad season.
Who moved
Tyler
up?
Hero.
Devin Booker's not having a good
Donovan
season.
Mitchell's so clear, it's not even funny.
Okay, but De'Aaron Fox
You know
is
who's
also
actually moving up? Jalen Green.
Yeah, he is moving up right now in January. De'Aaron Fox, he was a snub for me, and there's an argument him over like a
James
Jaren
Harden.
or Harden or LeBron or
Yeah, I knew he was
Şengün.
gonna say
I get
LeBron.
I get the argument, but the Kings they've won recently. They've also won in those games, and some of them Fox has not played.
He missed like
You know,
3, I think, right?
Yeah,
3 games, 4
I
games.
don't think that's
Yeah,
that
we're
much
down 30.
that
This
big of
game
a
is
deal.
over.
But it's like for
damn.
me, am I going to leave off a player that's the best player on the second team in the West to put two Kings players in there when they're one of the bottom teams?
I didn't
Yeah,
think
that's why I
twice.
don't hate
about it.
Sengun.
I valued winning a lot in this.
I don't hate Sengun.
And that's why Harden was. The Clippers
The
have
Lakers
a higher
are
seed.
5 seed. Why is LeBron a wild card?
LeBron.
The wild
but
card
I
shit
gave-
missed me, bro. You lost
They're
me.
a five. They're a 5 seed. That's why I gave them 2 All Stars.
That's
So
a
question.
Yeah.
Question. This is
And
not
Kyrie also got snubbed.
this is not me being biased. I just want to ask a general question from my unbiased brothers. You weighed heavily on winning, and
Yes.
I agree. I think that's a great
In
way
the
to go
West.
about it.
Maybe not so much in the
no,
East.
and I think that's a great way to go about it. I think you should
Norman
definitely
Pushing.
move you. So The Memphis Grizzlies are a 3rd seed.
I tried to get Ja in there.
Minnesota is an 8th seed.
I tried to get
Has Ant been that much better than Ja where we put him over?
I think he's been better and he's been more available.
Okay.
I agree with that.
He's also
like
Ant's,
that. I
Ant's
like
been the best player on the
Ja
Wolves.
is
Ja
averaging
is-
21 a night this year,
I like
which
that.
is good. I mean, he's been efficient.
It's the
but,
playmaking. Yeah,
you know,
that's what.
you know,
That's
for
really.
sure.
he's not as available as the other,
That's fair,
as
that's
the other
fair, that's
players.
It's also like a down year for Ja. It's kind of a down-ish year for Ant too, but I don't think as drastic.
Yeah, he's
numbers-wise.
settling on the jumper more, which I need him to because I want him to work on that shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's why,
Okay.
like, when I looked at mine, only the Lakers really have 2 All-Stars
they always will.
in the West. But
don't think
outside of
anyone
that,
else.
like,
Bro.
Dude, I'm be honest with you. My mom was calling me. I apologize.
you got to take care of that then. Are we gonna keep going? Or
No,
you
no,
gonna
we're
answer?
good, we're good,
Okay,
we're
okay.
good, we're good.
So SGA 1st seed, obviously. KD, one of the bottom teams, but when he was healthy, they were winning.
He's the best
so,
player in the team, by far.
Victor Wembanyama's carrying a Spurs team right now. Jokic, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Then we have Sabonis,
he
best
gets
player on the Kings, even though they're not winning as recently they have been. Harden, one of the best players on the top 6 seed.
Awesome.
Şengün, the best player on the 2nd seed. You know, I value
Arguably.
winning a lot, and that's why the Kyrie thing, I feel like that's the snub that I feel worst about. And Fox, I feel pretty terrible about too, just because Fox is having a really good season.
We should have just started our boy Amen, bro.
What's
Harden making over Kyrie.
That's what I'm
Totally
saying, bro,
respectful. Let
like-
it go.
Harden don't get in over Ja. I'll be fucking honest with you.
Harden's not making this All-Star game.
I feel like Harden deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing.
That was we should have just started Amen.
the Clippers and the
Clippers are a
Mavericks
5 seed. Mavericks are
have
7.
the same amount of wins.
Oh, that okay.
They both have 22 wins.
Yeah, no.
So then the Lakers have 22 wins as well.
Yeah,
They have
but
21.
My reasoning for Harden over Kyrie is not really the stats. It's really about running the offense. That's the
Okay,
biggest thing for
I
me.
don't hate it because James Harden is keeping that offense from dog shit
Yeah, I
to
mean
dog
Harden's a
shit.
better
shit.
playmaker. He's
Yeah.
gonna run the offense better. You know, that's
Yeah, he's a plus 7.5
Here we go back to
point
differential,
differential.
just being
Kyrie's a plus 3.
Because
Be all
point
end all.
differential didn't move you when it came to Siakam when he's at fucking plus 13.4.
Hey man, let's get the All-Star game back to the eye test,
sleep
man.
on
What do we see with
All
our
right.
eyes to get him in?
I'll
man?
reevaluate it.
All right.
No,
Yo,
but-
go look at the defensive numbers. Holy shit.
So, Harden, the field goal percentage and the 3-point percentage numbers aren't that good, but his true shooting percentage
throws.
actually isn't bad. It's
free throws.
It's 57% true shooting because of the free throws.
Yes, free throws. Listen, James Harden's having a good year. He held the shit afloat. Now Kawhi's back, so let's see how that looks. Norman Powell's been hooping.
expected back.
He played yesterday.
He did play.
Oh, Kawhi, I didn't even.
He played
I didn't
yesterday.
And they won.
He beat on
And
some
he
cool
was
shit.
efficient.
They won by
the
like
Nets-
77 points.
I didn't
Kawhi,
even realize
he
he was
trying to get
playing
his
that.
legs
I'll be
back.
honest, bro. I saw they were up like 40, and I was like, I'm not putting this
Yo,
shit
no
on.
troll. Kawhi looks exactly the same.
Why are you
that's tough.
surprised?
I didn't even
No,
realize.
I just think this guy's a robot.
He is.
It's like kind of insane.
The issue is just suddenly he'll be at home or in practice and it's just
He'll trip.
this shit hurts.
Yeah.
Bro was really 8 for 11, 24 minutes, 23 points.
He's a
Bro,
demon.
it's like insane how good
Plus
this guy is.
46.
Yeah, no, they beat the Nets by 50.
What was this guy said I think it was 3rd lowest plus minus in NBA history. What was it, a minus 50?
That was
T. Martin.
Zaire Williams.
Tyrese Martin was minus 56.
yeah.
Why they kept him in the game now? Oh my god, he's not doing nothing
Minus
productive.
56.
What's nuts
insane.
is at the end of the first quarter, it was 21-21.
I respect the Nets though. They tanking.
They got outscored 16-44 in the third and 14-37 in the second.
So before we get into like the NFL topics, just this last thing came to my mind because I've been thinking about it for a while, pertaining to Zion Williamson.
Here we go.
Do you think that Zion, the Pelicans should move on from him,
I'm
or
over
they
it.
should keep on trying to build with him? I think number one, the only thing I really want to say on this is that I think there's still a lot of criticism towards Zion for like, and it's not accurate because I'm watching Zion recently and he looks like he's in like the best shape that he's been in a while.
He's amazing at
Like
basketball.
he looks. Just look at him from like a physique standpoint. I know that there was so many jokes about him when he got the tattoo and how he looked shirtless, but looking at him right now when he's on the court, I mean, he looks slimmer. Like he looks like he's in great shape. So I think all the jokes like revolving around him in the media about how he just doesn't take care of himself, I think it's valid in moments, but for that to be one of like the main things being said about him right now, I don't feel like he looks like a dude that's out of shape to me right now.
I think the main thing is that he just doesn't stay on the court. I think that's the main thing people try and poke fun at when it comes to Zion, that he's an amazing talent. He's just never available. And it's a fair conversation to have. We always know I'm pro Zion Williamson. I understand when he's on the court, he's one of the most entertaining, one of the most dominant players I've ever seen. It's just a matter of keeping him on the court consistently. And if you're the Pelicans, I think you may need to cut ties. But you shouldn't be upset about it when he goes to another team and he plays high-level basketball, because it just should be one of those things that we understand. It's not working out with the Pelicans. It's unfortunate that their time has been as underwhelming as it's ended up being. You were supposed to have a nice foundation with you and Brandon Ingram. The two of you never could just stay healthy at the same time. Last year when they were healthy, we saw them be one of the best teams in basketball until, of course, BI goes down. And then right in the playing game with 2 minutes left in the game, or in the fourth quarter, Zion's just, the entire fourth, Zion's just not able to come back. And that's when he had 40 points and dominating who was arguably the best defensive player in basketball last year. Of course, it's Rudy and Victor, but I got to throw some love to AD. But regardless, he dominated that matchup. His time in New Orleans may be looked at as a failure, but in order so it's not an overwhelming failure to the Pelicans, I think they need to trade Zion, get a type of compensation for him so that at minimum it is not a situation where they got nothing for him. He's going to leave, he's going to be great, but the Pelicans need to try and capitalize as much as they can.
I just don't know what to capitalize on right now. Like, you need two people here, right? The Pelicans have to be willing to trade Zion, but you got to have another team that's willing to give New Orleans something that's valuable, because although he's finally healthy again, right? He's been playing. He's still on a minutes restriction, but he's looking good, right? I agree. He played. They almost goddamn beat Boston the other night, and they had a big win. It hasn't been hard lately. They had a big win. It hasn't been hard. They had a big win last night. First of all, the fact that they've had all these injuries is obviously terrible. Trey Murphy has been playing his fucking ass off this season. He's having a career high 21. He's putting the ball on the court. Still a great defender. He's been phenomenal. So I feel like that's one of like the bright spots that the Pelicans have had this year. But Zion, it's just difficult because he's so talented that you don't want to give up on him at one of his lowest values right now. Like right now, you're not going on the open market and you're not getting a superstar haul for Zion. But the other issue is, when are you going to get a superstar haul for Zion? When is there ever going to be a time in his career that you think realistically he can play 70 games, right? He did it one time in his career, but that's looking like an outlier right now. God willing, he could fix that, and going into the future, he could be more healthy. But it's hard for me to envision New Orleans trading him for like 2 protected picks, and they're going to have to sell their fan base on, this is a guy we gave up basically AD for. He's supposed to be the face of the franchise, and we'll be lucky if we get the 17th overall pick in return. So it's hard because I just don't think his value is really what it deserves. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to get either a young player that you could be happy about or a draft pick that's anywhere near the value of what he can be. And what he can be is he could be one of the 10 best players in basketball. It's just he has not been able to put that on the court consistently right now. So I think that puts the Pels in a tough situation, because I don't want to have to move off of him, get some shitty draft picks. I'm New Orleans. I'm not a free agent destination. I'm not going to get a great draft pick for him. I just traded DeJounte Murray. Like, they're in a tough situation. I would keep him. Hopefully the trade value goes up. He could stay healthy, and maybe you could get a couple unprotected picks. But other than that, it's hard for me to envision him just going for a low value offer.
I'm good off it, honestly. I'm good off the experiment. And it's not even like, it's unfortunate. Like, he's been dealing with so many injuries. Zion Williams is still I don't know basketball player, in the sense of we still don't know what he is. This is a guy whose game is very simplistic. Like, it's very simple in terms of you have to build a specific team around him and around his skill set. This is a guy that could possibly be schemed up in a playoff game because of the lack of skill in his game on certain aspects, whether it be the jumper, the ball handling ability, just the physical size, being 6'6", being that small at the power forward position. I just don't know what he is yet still. And unfortunately, we don't have enough game film to really, not even like to see it, more for him to keep working on his game, because every time he gets hurt, he has to climb back from injury. It's always like a uphill battle to just continue to get better, continue to stay on the court. And it really does suck, because I feel like that Pelicans team has all gone through that situation of they're always hurt. But I feel like the stock for me is kind of dead, in the sense of I don't know where Zion goes for me. I don't know if they decide to trade him. I don't know who decides to trade him, because like I said, you need a specific skill set. Like the teams around the league, Houston won't trade for him. Doesn't make sense. OKC, I don't know. Like, does that make sense? Does that not? A team like Detroit, I don't know. Does they do they?
I've heard
do they
the
not?
Knicks, but why would the Knicks do
Knicks
that? I don't know if they
it.
really
That doesn't make sense.
Contracts.
Like, Brooklyn would be the one team that has, like, they need a star, they have the cap, stuff like that. Charlotte, maybe.
Charlotte
but
makes a lot of sense.
But do you want to go to Charlotte? Like, does Charlotte have anything where the Pelicans are like,
LaMelo?
we want that? You know, like if you give up LaMelo, then you're it doesn't make sense.
It'd be fun if, you know.
Yeah, it'd be cool, but like now you're looking at a LaMelo Zion duo in the East. It's like, yeah, like that's
awesome.
it sounds
Can I
fun
ask
to
you
watch.
a question though? What do you mean that he's an I don't know player?
In the sense of if you go into a playoff game, right? We know like using specific guys that are around his skill set. A guy like Giannis, we know his limitations, right? This is the jumper. Prior to this year, it's the jumper. You know, if you build up a wall against him, you know, if you try to double him, you force him to make the extra pass or you force him to take the jump shot, you give him that space. That is a form of a limitation in Giannis's game. Mm-hmm. As a form of Zion, you go into a playoff matchup. If he sees a specific matchup where they can box him up, they can wall him up, you know, they can give him kind of that space of where you just take the jumper. If he's not hitting it, you know, that can become a limitation in the Pelicans' offensive infrastructure.
Here's the thing: he's not taking the jumper. Yeah. That's one thing I know about Zion. He will not take the jumper.
But in a playoff game, you're gonna have to.
He's
eventually.
working on it recently.
He is. I know he's working on it.
I agree.
But my thing is,
I love it.
in that game versus the Lakers, he was going at AD.
I agree.
He was going into AD's chest and finishing over him.
Yeah, I agree. But that's also one game in a play-in game that's revolves
AD is still the best one of the best defenders in the world, especially last season. I say that where you go. I'm not saying he's going to average 40.
That was 2 years ago.
No, that was last.
That was 2 years ago.
No, that was last.
It was last year.
Last season.
Last year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say you had me tripping for a sec.
Yeah, because they made the playoffs.
Yeah, they played the Nuggets
without
twice.
Zion.
But my whole thing is, I'm not saying he's going to average 40 in a playoff series. I'm not saying that, obviously. But if you can go up against, in a game, winner take all, against one of the best rim protecting,
I watched Draymond box him up
in basketball.
I watched Draymond box him up in a high intense game. Like AD's never been a guy. No disrespect to AD. AD's never been a guy where you say he locks somebody up. Like he's not that. I don't think he's that type of defender. So, like, you watching Zion give him 40 and then
the only person that legitimately gives AD consistent fits is Jokic.
I don't really see him, but in the West, he hasn't really had to guard anybody that's elite at the big man position. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess Jaren.
I know the Kings give you guys fits in a regular season, but in a playoff series, I'm more than fine with LeBron and AD versus the Kings.
Duh.
You know, and I think you look at it, you know, you just see guys, like you see Ant Edwards versus Dallas. You know, you see him struggle. You see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker versus Minnesota. You see guys like that struggle.
We haven't seen Zion in the playoffs yet.
Exactly, and I think Zion has a more limited skill set as opposed to guys like those where he might genuinely struggle, and that's why he's a I don't know player because I don't know what. Yes, he has the playing game, but that's one game in 4 or 5 years of just that's what we're hoping on against the Lakers that they might not play.
Mm-hmm. This is just a gut feeling, but I think that the Pelicans are going to end up trading Zion. And I think wherever Zion goes, he's going to really thrive.
I agree.
I think that he just hates the Pelicans. He doesn't like playing for them. And if he goes to a different organization, it's going to totally change his career.
Like you're telling me he's going to go to Charlotte and thrive? Who is thriving in Charlotte?
You're telling me he's leaving New Orleans and he just magically is healthy?
Charlotte is awful.
What if he went to Pistons? If he went to the Pistons, that would be so fun for the game.
I've heard some teams out there. I've heard
because you can, with all due respect, I know that they invested heavy stock into these two guys, but if it cost Asar and it cost Ron Holland, one of the two,
nuts,
I
would make that move.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Not both.
I said
one of the Zion.
It is Zion. I would trade both if the Pelicans said I need both.
Potentially not playing for you guys.
Yeah.
Like the stock, I get the stock. But we're so removed from that 60 games, 27 point per game season.
But last year he was amazing.
He was. How many games?
He played damn near the whole season.
Was it like 40?
No, I think he played almost 70 games last year.
I don't remember if he played 70 games.
Zion played a ton of games last season.
Was that last year?
Yes.
I guess I'm thinking of 2 years prior because I keep thinking that playing game was 2 years ago.
Are you looking at
Zion played 70.
Okay.
So he's been in the league for this is his 5th season.
Ago.
His rookie year he played 24 games. Second season 61.
Godsend.
Third season 29. Fourth season 70. And then this year he's played 9.
So every other season.
Yeah.
So this is the time to trade for him because next year he's going to play 60
cooking.
probably. You know what I mean? Like,
so, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I've seen some teams out there. I know the Miami Heat are one of those teams out there that, you know, maybe the Heat culture or whatever can fix him.
What Heat culture, bro?
Sengun and Zion.
I'm straight off the Rockets.
You know, there's this.
And Amon, you're still
just how fast they would be running. Like that, I feel like how athletic it would
that
be.
That doesn't help their half.
I don't know if Zion's an Ime guy.
Yeah, but I think there's one
They do need a
team-
little bit of spacing, but Zion getting to the bucket at will.
I'll be honest. I don't think they'll give up none of their young players for Zion.
There's one team that sticks
Cam
out to
Williams
me
been hooping
for
recently
Zion.
too.
The one team that sticks out to me is a team that has the second most draft capital behind OKC. And if they trade for Zion, they're going to have the two biggest, like, talented players at their position, Zion and Victor Wembanyama.
Okay.
Like,
That would excite the shit out of me.
I think Zion...
I'd be pushing
Like,
dangerously
genuinely,
close to being
I
this
think
person.
Zion's career can thrive in San Antonio. He's going to play with a big that can stretch out the floor.
For sure.
You surround that with shooters. How do you guard a team that has Wembanyama and then Zion, who they can just both dominate the paint?
Oh, for
like,
sure.
That is like, it would be one of the most unguardable, unstoppable duos in the NBA. The theory of it, because, Zion has to stay on the court. But
that's the problem.
I feel like for the Spurs, that's a risk worth taking.
Because
How much you have to give up to make that?
All right, here we
risk?
go. Let's. Oh, I don't think it's, what is it, 40?
I think he's making like 40.
If it's 3 first, would you do it?
Ooh,
Unprotected.
for the hope that he's healthy, I'm good.
I'm
I
straight.
feel like the Spurs can get a better guy.
I was gonna say I got Vic. He's fucking.
You can give
21
up
years
5
old,
for
bro.
D Book, and he's gonna play.
That's why, like, the price of Zion is just, it's 3 unprotected first. Why am I doing that?
When
I don't think I
I can go get better.
The thing is, we could be looking back on this 2 years from now and think, man, 3 firsts is nothing.
And that's the problem with him. Like, you really don't know. Like, you take the gamble, maybe.
I would take a gamble. I'm
I
also a
don't know.
fan.
Okay, so
I'm being fair.
Zion's-
I'll be honest. I'm being a fan, but at the same time, when we watch him play basketball, we know what we're watching.
So Zion is $36 million. That's what he's making. They
Beautiful.
can package Keldon Johnson
And
with
Harrison
Harrison Barnes, and that trade is successful.
I agree.
And then you add picks.
If you're telling me to protect it, sure.
Like, if I'm giving up
nothing.
Keldon Johnson and Harrison Barnes and 2 or 3 firsts for Zion, I'm doing that in a
no,
heartbeat.
I'm running to the phone and I'm
Which ones?
saying yes.
They have the Hawks picks. They have their own picks.
You can also give up that Timberwolves pick.
Yeah, they have Timberwolves first round picks in
I think
2030.
if you're telling me 20, 30, and 29, sure, yeah.
They have the Hawks
sure.
first round picks. They have their own.
I don't think the Pels are going to be like, yeah, just give us 20, 30
I
picks.
think
They're
the
going to want
Spurs,
25,
have
26.
10 first round picks in the next 4 drafts.
Yeah, I agree.
They can give up 3 and still have 7.
I'm sorry. I'm not giving up 3 unprotected first round picks for a hope that he stays healthy.
I would. I feel like the
then you're gonna
Spurs
be
can change around his.
You're going to be sitting there.
his life.
I don't think an organization can change your health.
Can I ask you a question?
You're either healthy or you're
Did
not.
you think 3 firsts for Siakam was a lot?
Siakam's healthy?
I'm just asking in general. Like, take Zion out of the equation for a second. Was 3 firsts for Siakam a lot?
No.
Not really.
I mean, in hindsight, it's like, what are they, average?
But they went to the ECF.
Yeah.
In theory, right? Just off that alone, I understand that he's healthy. But Zion, when he's played, he's better than Siakam. He's a better basketball player
How
than
many
Siakam.
games has Siakam played significantly more in the last 4 years?
You can bank on Siakam playing almost an entire season. He's pretty
That
available.
was
What
really.
you just do, bro?
Well, I took
You
the
slurped
juice
it?
out the cap. Hey, relax. He's talking. Listen. Pay attention to me.
You slurped mad loud.
I just look at it from that lens. Yes, Siakam's available, but the talent for 3 firsts, I understand that it's a gamble, but this is a player that would cost an unbelievably amount more than that if he were 100% healthy. This is the lowest you're going to get him.
Bro, Wemby, Zion, Sohan, Devin
Sohan.
Vassell.
Castle. You guys say
Castle.
brother.
The
So-
team's fun.
Like, they had, like,
We need,
honestly,
we need to get into the lab.
they need to
Shooting
shoot
lab.
better, no doubt, but I mean,
Champagne
come
can
on.
get better.
Well,
Champagne can get
we need
better.
Castle and Sohan to get into the shooting lab.
No, but
Castle
Sohan
is shooter,
Sohan
so-
has been improving every
We already
single
see
season.
the Spurs now. The Spurs now are already a playing team with no second star. If Zion could be there, they could literally be.
I just don't know
one
if
of
I
the
wanna
4 best
bank
teams
on
in the
You
league.
Zion.
guys
is my
are really
second star.
banking on something
No,
you
no,
haven't seen.
I'm honestly like, if,
Haven't seen in who?
The health. I meant. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, Zion and Wemby, that's a duo I want to make happen from the Spurs.
I need it.
Yeah.
I wish you never said
If you're
it.
telling me
I want it.
flat out on a piece of paper, they're going to play, fucking yeah, I'll do it.
yeah.
But you're sitting there and you're just, I can't walk into this with blind faith.
Well, are you gonna do it off the? Are you gonna do it knowing the risk?
No, I wouldn't.
So you wouldn't do it.
No, I
you're
wouldn't.
staying away from Zion.
If you telling me 3 firsts, Keldon and Harrison can get me Zion, I feel like I can go get Devin Booker for 5 firsts, one more young player, and he's going to play. Like, he's legitimately going to play. Not only play, he's a better player than Zion.
Better fit, too.
Yeah, so, like, why wouldn't I not go sit there and be like, I can go get a better player with all this?
I don't know, man. I kind of think the Zion and Wemby fit would be kind of perfect.
I don't think it's a bad fit, but
It's
Devin
not-
Booker's
I
a bad
think
fit.
by any
Zion he can handle the ball. I feel like that's really something that the
Just
Pelicans
issues like
don't
Castle
explore
right
with.
now isn't a great shooter.
They'd be great in the pick and roll. Zion would have space to work with because he has a stretch big.
You're gonna have 2 non-shooters unless
What's
Castle
what's the Spurs 3-point shooting percentage just as a team?
It's probably low. Not a
And
lot.
Wemby's taking almost 10.
great
He's shooting
shooters.
30, 35, 36.
No, I put that. I made that team in 2K. I'm in like my second year.
Oh,
like,
you've been
the
locked in.
finals. Yeah, I already experimented with that team. Later today, I'm gonna play Madden and put Justin Fields on the Jets.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Okay.
My
want
shout out
that?
to
Stephon Castle's shooting 25% from 3 this year.
yeah,
terrible.
Shout out to my boy Femi. He really wants
Damn, the
Justin
Thunder
Fields
are
on
up
the Giants.
87 to
Yep.
54.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beating the
they're
shit out
cooked.
of them.
Putting in Caps.
Yeah,
Talking about they
found it.
deserve 4 All-Stars. Get out of here.
You said that.
Huh?
You said that.
I'm just kidding.
They're 23rd in 3-point percentage,
Yeah, they suck.
but they're 6th in 3-point attempts.
Not great.
Respect it. Chuck him up.
Yeah, I mean, most of that's probably just Wemby, right?
100%.
Wemby does.
He takes like
He,
12.
Taking all
he
those
just
threes,
fucks
yeah.
around.
He makes them.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, like, I wouldn't do it honestly. Like Zion is just something I'd stay away from. If he does great, cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Shout out, but
I
I'll
don't
just
know
stay
if
away
it's
from
worth risking. Like you got Wemby, you got the future face of the league. Do you want to? I don't want to say waste,
We can
but do
find
you
it
want to
better.
risk a couple of years trying to figure out a Zion experiment? Because 1 year he's going to be hurt. You'd be like, just wait, he's going to be healthy next year. Then he's healthy. Then he gets banged up halfway through the year during the playoffs. I just feel like there's too many
He's good, bro.
variables. He's undoubtedly due
No,
next
no, no,
year.
I mean, like, he's good.
You're praying on
I
it.
talked to him.
Forever.
I talked to him.
Okay.
He's good.
I mean, listen, if you tell me he can play this whole month straight, we'll get somewhere.
All right.
When he's on the court, hey, he's very impactful.
No, for
It's
sure.
very good, yeah.
Think about it, man. Levine, his stock's back up.
The NFL Divisional Round playoffs are this weekend in Riv. Drew, we got some prize pick plays. What are we going with?
Listen, last time we watched the Bills go up against the Ravens, Derrick Henry left his mark on the game, 199, only 1 touchdown. Because the game was an ass beating. This one's going to be a lot closer. I'm anticipating Derrick Henry to hit that demon. He's going to have more than 2 touchdowns.
And I'm thinking the opposite of you, Drew. I'm going Josh Allen more than 1.5 touchdowns. I think he's going to get 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to have 300 yards. He's going to turn into Superman. He's going to get the W. That's just how I'm feeling this weekend.
Talking about great quarterbacks showing up, I'm counting on the greatest quarterback of all time to show up, Patrick Mahomes, to have 3 passing touchdowns against this Texans defense. Patrick Mahomes in a divisional round, 6-0, 16 passing touchdowns. We know he's going to show up. And if you guys want to lean with our picks, you guys can go to PrizePicks. Use code PAS. Play $5 and get $50. You guys can always tell us, but you guys can also always make your own picks. But it helps support the podcast nonetheless. Okay,
He's
now
playing basketball.
NFL
Jack is a bit
playoff
easier
predictions.
fit.
No, for sure. Oh, no. Zach in San Antonio would be lit.
We're going to do our NFL playoff predictions for the divisional round. We have 4 games this weekend. We're going to go in the order of how the games are going to be happening. The Texans versus Chiefs.
I'm not even thinking twice about this one. It's Kansas
This
City.
is a quick conversation for sure.
Kansas City's defense is back.
Shout respect.
Patrick Mahomes
you
and
give
this.
CJ Stroud some fucking respect.
I do.
No, you don't. It's disrespect. Honestly, the shit you do is ridiculous.
Bro, he took CJ Stroud over Jalen Hurts.
CJ's
No, I
better.
didn't. I said you guys could decide. I don't feel too
So
strong.
start bench cut Jayden, CJ Hurts. What would you go with?
I saw that. I LMAO'd at it.
Would you cut Hurts?
Yes, I would.
Well,
You're
that's
not
not
an
surprising
Eagles
with this guy.
fan,
It's
bro.
not even put the,
Not
no
an Eagles fan.
put the bias aside. Who's the worst pocket passer out of the 3?
It's hurts probably.
Who has the worst vision out the 3 from seeing a field perspective?
I don't know. Maybe Jayden.
Or who holds on to the ball longest?
Maybe
If you
CJ,
if you tell me
who has
CJ
the luxury to hold on to the ball longest, it's Hurts. That's
Sure. If you tell me CJ Stroud is in the Eagles passing offense, what do we look like? What does the passing offense look like?
probably awesome.
We're looking at AJ Brown 1,600,
But let me ask you a
1,700.
question. Do you have Saquon Barkley still on the team?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
still
so you're
looking
gonna
at.
do what the team needs to win the game.
I don't think it'll be a whole we're bottom in the league in passing attempts and we're number 1. I think it'll be like we're 15th, 16th,
Yeah.
maybe
Still
even
one of
higher.
the
But
best
I don't think
offenses.
Hurts holds on to the ball because the offensive line is like
No,
so elite.
he holds on to the ball sometimes
because
because he
not
doesn't
quick enough. with
Not
the
even quick enough. He
decision-making.
just. I don't know if it's a. I don't want to say he doesn't trust in himself, but it feels like sometimes. And also, this is also your fault too, Kellen Moore. You draw up some dog shit.
He just
route
second-guesses
concepts.
himself a lot.
But yeah, I feel like he sees it and he's like, do I want to throw an interception? No, I'm gonna just hold it. And then it's like, fuck it. I get this little fear that somebody's on my left side. Let me run. You know, he sometimes jets out too much.
I
And
will say, comedy greater than facts. Somebody tweeted about it's the play of him in the pocket against the Packers, and you're like, you can see the demon on his left shoulder saying, escape the pocket. Go.
No, literally.
That
no,
shit
'cause
made
he
me
was
laugh.
really.
He was like, you saw him jumping like he was ready to like, let me run this shit.
Let me chill.
Yeah.
Dot.
Start CJ, bench Jayden, cut hurt stuff.
Go to hell.
Okay, well, this divisional round prediction, Mahomes in the divisional round, 6-0, 16 touchdowns,
the glazing
0
Mahomes.
interceptions. I mean, come
This
on.
your last
look
team
at
in.
His face,
I mean,
bro.
look. I just feel like we just have to put
When in
these
doubt, I
numbers
have to go back to glazing my daddy.
into perspective. Like, in the divisional round, you're facing a team that either has a bye week or they won a playoff game. So you're facing a great football team. 16 touchdowns and 0 interceptions
Yes,
for
bro.
his
We
career.
get it. He's one of the greatest of all
Amazing.
time. He's
No,
really fucking
he might
elite.
be.
He's
He might
the
be,
best
though.
playoff
Yeah.
quarterback ever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I think this game is going to be won.
Yo, we need a three-peat. He retires.
Sunset.
I will cry. I'll be so fucking
Imagine.
happy.
Andy Reid's gone. Kelsey
'Cause you know what that
retires.
means?
Chris Jones.
Broncos.
You guys have a chance to win
We
the
got a
division.
chance.
You know what that means for us, right? Allen
OD,
and Lamar. We're
OD.
lit. And we need that badly.
You know, but my boy
Then you have to
Burrow,
see
you know,
him.
he could
Yeah.
do it.
He didn't make the playoffs.
He could do
Oh
it.
my.
But
He didn't make
made
the playoffs.
the Super Bowl by
Yo,
beating this
he
guy.
threw 40 plus and didn't make the playoffs.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Not his fault.
Yo, him and Jamar had an elite season. Didn't make the
Do you
playoffs.
know who Joe Burrow is? And this may bode well for you.
Who?
Dan Marino. He's Dan Marino 2.0. And my dad says it all the time. Dan Marino ran a flawless offense. He was nothing but prolific offenses every single time, and he had to. Because the defense on the other side was so fucking horrendous
Yeah, it'd be like that.
that he had to go and put up these insane statistical seasons.
Bengals had a couple
Well, I'm
good
hoping
defensive
not.
years.
I'm hoping not. I'm
I
hoping
mean,
that
if the Bengals don't dud it against the
Because
Patriots.
do you want to know what happened? Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl.
There we go. Loss.
He lost, never went back.
Was it a good game?
No, I
they
think
got smoked?
Montana. I think it was the Niners.
Oh, they played the
smoked
Niners?
them.
Oh, they had
Yeah.
no chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very hard. I mean, like, if all quarterbacks that have made the Super Bowl, I mean, it's facts. Like, of quarterbacks that have made the Super Bowl, how many all-time greats have really went multiple times?
It's
Aaron
hard to,
Rodgers
bro.
has only went once.
Shit. Didn't Big Ben go a few times?
Peyton Manning went 4 times.
Yeah. You always think they're going to go 10 times.
Russell
when you make
Wilson
that
went a few
first one.
times.
Russell went twice.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, you just have to have the team, you know.
Big
Legion
Ben
of
went-
Boom.
Hey, tell Joe come to the
got
NFC.
Legion of
Hey,
Boom, you
if
can
Joe
do it.
Burrow comes to the NFC, maybe he gets there.
He goes
No,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the best quarterback in the
just-
NFC. He goes there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case with the Bengals and their defense just not being good. But, you know, this is Burrow's first season when healthy when he missed the playoffs.
Hey, man, it'll be, I know we're talking about the playoffs, but it's a big test this offseason. You let
Yes.
T. Higgins walk.
You're an idiot.
It's
Well,
stupid.
You see exactly how Joe Burrow's career is going to go if he doesn't request
Joe
a trade.
might not
And
stay.
you know, it's just with T. Higgins, bro. Like, every single fan base is creating photoshops of him in their uniforms.
it.
They're all
love it.
they're fucking chomping at the
Every
bits
team
for
wants
this
T.
guy to be
Higgins.
available.
I would do anything for T. Higgins on the Broncos.
And bro, like we
I'd get
saw
naked.
New
Right
England
now.
in the offseason or training camp.
Show
They
me
offered
that.
Ayuk. They
Show me
offered
that.
Ayuk like 32 mil a year, bro. And Ayuk's like, nah,
Hard
they're gonna
too,
offer
you know?
T 32, 35 million.
New England's giving him
the
40.
Bengals better make sure that they just cut every fan base's hearts out and they just fucking re-sign this guy.
Yo, Texans gonna lose. Praying for CJ Stroud
got
masterclass. Kansas City, they've been through this. They do their thing. They should walk through this comfortably.
Yeah.
Get ready for Buffalo
Jalen Watson's
and
back.
Baltimore.
He is.
Jalen Watson is back. Just praying on a good
Rich
game from
getting
CJ.
The number one thing. what
Question
you gonna
though,
say?
because I feel like this game is a walkthrough. We can get to the important ones.
Yeah.
Question: what happened to Sam Darnold?
He didn't play well.
But you told us.
Why are you Victor lapping
no,
his
OD.
I'm
No,
not
Joel.
No.
I'm
not
on
big-
Joel's side
He was
here.
over here hype. He was
I'm
trying
on
to
Joel's side
claim
here.
being the Sam Darnold guy all
Rav,
year
you're being
long.
shameless.
No.
You-
Let me explain. Let me
Please,
explain.
please.
Let me explain.
You're losing me.
Joel, remember when you were like, Riff was high on Sam Darnold, and I was like, I was. He kept promoting. He's the Sam Darnold guy. He posted on Instagram, Sam Darnold with the Jets.
Darnold bucks.
Then
Darnold bucks.
and then when Sam Darnold played like shit against Detroit, we walked up here. He was like, damn, like he got to lock in. You told us from the bottom of your
is he gonna
beautiful
outperform?
soul, your heart is so pure, and you told us this from the bottom of your fucking heart. You was like, Darnold's gonna bounce back, no doubt in your
I
fucking
did thought
mind.
the same thing.
And
You're an idiot, and I
he did
hate
it.
you.
So
Actually,
I'm not. This
I
is not
fucking
even a.
hate you.
It's not even a victory lap.
It
I'm
was an
genuinely
inside
just
job,
asking,
man.
like, what happened?
He
Kevin
was pressured
O'Connell said
24
enough of
times.
this.
He was pressured 24 plus times. That's what happened.
Because he's only lost this year to the Rams.
But he was
and,
done.
the Lions.
Stop.
It's actually
He
nuts.
didn't play
Yeah.
well, but he also, I mean,
They've lost to
the
two teams this
Vikings.
year.
The
Same
Vikings'
teams.
offensive plan was
Crazy.
pretty terrible against the
Someone tweeted, and I don't disagree.
Against the Rams.
It might have been an inside job, man. KOC's like, I can't pay this man 40 fucking mil, bro. I can't.
No, listen, I think that things have just come back down to earth on Sam Darnold a little bit.
He lost mad money.
If he played well he was going to get overpaid, and then I think he would have disappointed on a really massive contract.
I still think he might not get overpaid, but he's going to go to a team that desperately needs a quarterback and not a great situation and underperform.
I just remember, and I hate to bring this guy up, but I just remember you saying Sam Darnold was better than Brock Purdy. And I was like, I'm fine with it. He's having a great year. And I remember you talking about Brock Purdy in the playoffs. Oh, him not being good. Oh, him not being, being shit. Really loud about it.
He deserves
Yet,
this.
when Sam Darnold was stinking it the fuck up, you were very... What do they say over there in L.A.? Ramley now?
Ramley.
You're very
No, that shit
Ramley.
was nasty.
I never forget those moments. I never forget how you disrespected Brock
I wish
Purdy.
the state was a little heavier.
And now you just, you're so just, now
Joel,
Darnold would have
fight
massively, not been good for the contract. It's just funny to me,
Joel.
Some guys don't get the same rep as others. Some guys, get a little bit of a fair leash.
And it's
Other
crazy
guys
too
get
because Purdy
disrespected.
last pick in the draft, he shouldn't have been doing this.
I agree, and then Sam Darnold top 3 pick.
Joel,
Get the fuck out of
pick.
this. Expectations are
begging you.
expectations.
Jettas,
Oh my
Addison,
Joel,
TJ,
Joel,
KOC,
CMC,
Christian
Brandon
Darrisaw,
Ayuk,
TJ
Deebo
Hawk. Yo,
Samuel.
it sounds like similar things.
Jefferson
But
got
Brock
locked
Purdy was getting slighted. And
Jefferson
Sam
got
Darnold got a
locked
slap
up in
on the
his
wrist
game.
for playing like shit. Oh, he was pressured 24 times. Well, throw the fucking ball. How about that?
Purdy was never pressured this much.
Not gonna
ever.
lie, more than half of them were over 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, they were over 2.5 seconds because nobody was open down the field, and he was looking for things to get open. Nothing was
maybe
open.
maybe
down.
KOC
There was
did
no
do that.
check
Well,
down
that's
option.
not-
He threw a check
Always
down in the
it's
dirt. Fuck you talk? No, he threw it at the 4. He literally had Aaron Jones in the check down.
Wait, you talking about the swing pass to the
It was
side?
literally had Aaron Jones on the right. He looked. I'm panicking. Threw the shit, and the shit went over Aaron Jones. And you saw Jones in the
bad.
background like, oh, now we got to get bro out of here.
listen.
Like, what do you mean?
Sam Darnold, he wasn't good.
And it might,
There's
you know
no
what?
doubt about it.
KOC might be doing that. Shanahan would never do that to Brock Purdy. I want to point that out.
Listen,
Never.
Sam Darnold wasn't good. I also think that just the entire offensive game plan for the Vikings was also poor.
It was very poor.
But like the 49ers, whenever I seen them scheme up, they live and die by their rushing attack. That's what they
CMC.
are. And the Vikings don't have a run game to rely on at all. They weren't able to run the ball against the Lions. They weren't able to run the ball against the Rams. And Shanahan's just a better play caller than KLC. This just is what it is.
Jared verse was amazing. I'm just chopping your bits and
I
trolling
just
at
think
you.
he
but
made some good points.
I mean, you were loud about Purdy last year. Definitely
Listen, I
were.
think-
even though second half.
He actually said on last episode, Rib, I asked him, I was like, who do you not want to see win the Super Bowl?
He said Purdy.
He's like, well, Philly, da-da-da. But he's like, last year, man, I really didn't want the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
I did not.
Wait, why don't you want Philly to win? You've been with us.
Wait, no. He asked least likely to win.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, if there's any team I don't want to see win. Philly, it's more so just they're gonna make it seem like it was a Hurts, that's.
Oh, you're
I don't know, bro.
You're waiting for Drew to just.
I feel like
derail
I
Hurts.
really do
I really
think
haven't been gawking.
I think a
that
majority
much
of
this year.
people, even some Philly fans like Riv included, are done glazing Hurts. Like
never
the
started.
2022 season, everyone was deservedly so. But people are not on Jalen Hurts like he is leading this team to
I think
the
us as
playoffs.
Philly, we
think
understand what he
that
is.
About
only-
the first 11 weeks of
Here's the
last
thing,
year.
Dehls. It only feels like that because they haven't won it all yet. If they win it all, it's gonna switch.
I don't know. I feel like if Hurts played how he did against last week, who the fuck did they play? The Packers. And it was like that, and the defense was locking up and getting picks, and Saquon. I don't think people are going to glaze Hurts.
Yeah, if he
because
plays
people
well,
didn't
it's
already
different,
really like
you know?
Hurts to begin with. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's just been.
He's too
For
perfect.
us Philly fans, he's been a
Another
game
year
manager,
later.
a really good game
I
manager.
mean, listen,
this
I
year.
just think that in 2022, after he had his performance in the Super Bowl, people were putting him in conversations with
You hated
Josh
that.
Allen and Lamar.
Yeah,
Josh Allen Lamar is type crazy, but
But
he was
that-
definitely
that's the
top
kind-
7, top
that's
8.
there were people that genuinely thought that he was the second best quarterback in the NFL after
I
2022.
don't know. That Super Bowl performance.
That Super Bowl was nuts.
so
but
good. He's talking about you.
I could tear up. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a great game.
I thought he had it.
Listen,
I thought he had
He's been
it.
game managing. He's not been turning over the ball.
Motherfucker,
It's been fine.
Mahomes is different.
I just need him to, at times, make some plays.
yeah, he's going to have to.
But when
He's
you
going to have
need
to.
him to make
With
plays,
his legs.
he
yes.
does.
Sometimes, though, I need it to be with this
It'll
and
happen.
not
Can
this.
you trust him?
Because then we got A.J. Brown reading books, and then the media.
Wasn't that hilarious?
I found it funny, but then the media.
You know that he
be
actually
crying.
reads books, though?
I
Like,
do,
down on
but
the
that's why,
sideline?
you see how now the narrative is different.
But it's
Oh,
been
like
like
it's
that
just
with
It's like,
weird.
oh, if he had 7 catches for 100 yards, he'd be reading a book.
Or they need
Yeah,
something
like-
to hate on this team because there's literally nothing to
I
pick
agree.
at.
That's
It's
why
a perfect roster.
That's why I think Hurts. He makes life easy, doesn't turn the ball over. We're going to play the Rams. Go over there, make some splash plays, make plays with your legs. We'll be fine. Simple.
They should win that game. Is
should
that the
win-
next game?
we should
No.
win every
Yeah,
game.
the
Commanders.
two things that I just want to mention is that the Chiefs are fifth in pressure rate. CJ Stroud is 24th out of 35 quarterbacks against the blitz. So the Chiefs are going to blitz the hell out of the Texans. That's the thing that I'm expecting the most. They're going to put McDuffie on an island against Nico Collins, maybe at times double team him. I really think they're going to press up at the line and really play aggressive against the Texans. And this just one stat I just wanted to mention on Chris Jones this year. Chris Jones has the 6th most pressures this season. 29.4% of his snaps, he's lined up at edge. He is the only player in the NFL to record 20 or more pressures at both defensive tackle and at edge this year. So they move him around a lot based on matchups, but it's just, something that just showcases how dominant he's been at both positions, really. He's the only defensive tackle that's moving out to edge like that and playing from that spot. So I think he's going to be a huge
So
difference
we all
maker in
have
this game.
Chiefs.
Yes.
But you know why they don't acknowledge the defense, right? It's all narrative driven.
I mean,
It's
Mahomes
all
is the
to
guy.
praise the Lord and Savior, apparently.
Yeah,
He is the
they're
Lord and
spinning.
Savior of Kansas City.
Definitely is.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs rush for 5 or more on 35.6% of dropbacks. So every time you look up, there's going to be heat on CJ.
Hey, pray for my brother, man. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, in order for them to win, he has to air the ball down the field, and you got to hope that Nico wins his one-on-ones or receivers outside of that. Another underrated thing, though, George Karlaftis is playing at a great level, recently.
Texans defense got locked in, too.
George Karlaftis has 20 pressures since week 14, 14.8% pressure rate. He's been amazing. He's been elite. So that, I really think the Chiefs are going to just steamroll the Texans, to be honest. Yeah. I got Chiefs
You're a funny guy.
27-17.
You're a funny guy. You know that?
It's the Texans. You think they're
Hey, last time they played,
Who?
Texans.
Texans?
Yeah.
Just a little
they're gonna
ugly,
lose.
yeah.
No, but why?
This
You know
matchup
why
is
you're
different.
a funny guy.
This matchup is different
No,
against the
no,
Ravens.
no, because I am very cognitive of your behaviors, and it allows me to understand where this is going. I know where this is going.
What, a Chiefs shirt, Chiefs jersey?
Oh, what the fuck?
I didn't even peep the
realize
Chiefs
you had the
shirt.
shirt on.
I didn't even peep.
No, it's comfortable.
Well, you
I
have
like
one
it.
team left, so.
No, I know where
That's
it's
the
going.
only team.
Like, literally, you and your last
Because
leg.
brackets don't mean a damn thing to this man.
No.
I know what's going to
he's got
happen.
no
Who's his
backs.
The Ravens are going to win against the Bills.
God willing.
His pick to win the whole thing, he's going to choose against them in the
He's
AFC
gonna be like,
Championship.
Mahomes is so
And
good, he
I
even-
always
he even
knew
proved me wrong.
It's the Kansas City
Wait,
Chiefs.
what was your bracket?
He had the Ravens winning it all.
Yo, bro, what the fuck is the point of a bracket if you're not going to be consistent on it?
It's very rich coming from you. You had the Broncos winning this.
Well, the Broncos are done now. He didn't pick against them. He
Hold on.
picked the Broncos last
let
week.
me ask
sure
you
did.
something. If the Ravens don't win and the Bills win, you're telling me I have to pick the Bills?
No.
To beat the Chiefs?
Absolutely
So you're
not.
basically saying that
No, now you're
only,
good.
only if the Ravens win,
Yes.
I have to be consistent.
No, yes.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
if the
you're
Ravens
And
lose, you're good.
no. Also, in the Super Bowl,
Ravens.
you've been saying no. Let's say the Bills beat the Ravens. Then of course he's allowed to do whatever he wants in the AFC Championship game. But I'm very aware
Talk
of
to
the
me.
statement.
Well, Green Bay's out, so we can.
The Kansas City Chiefs cannot win a Super Bowl. They can't.
He said that?
I'm very confident of that
With their-
because
with the
all
flaws-
6
I-
weeks ago.
With the
all I've
flaws that they
heard-
had in week 9, yes.
all I've heard.
Oh, and then after
don't
that,
have the
somebody
same
got
flaws.
moved to like
No,
left
but the
tackle.
Joe
But
Tooney
now-
got moved to
but-
left tackle.
but the
Jalen
Ravens-
Watson
Jalen
came
Watson
back.
came back,
That's a
baby.
big
Playoffs
thing.
started.
Facts. Yes.
playoffs
yes,
started
Drew.
last
yes, Drew.
week.
Yes, Drew.
The playoffs
yes,
started
Drew.
last week.
And he picked the Ravens.
No. But also the last 3 weeks of the season, I excused week 18. I excused it. Week 16 and week 17, both against the Chiefs,
fucking
picked against
Steelers.
them. But also, what we've heard all season long, Mr. Moran, is that the Eagles are the best.
Are we
team
getting a
in
magical
football.
flip aside moment soon?
I am just. I'm putting it out
Making
there.
it aware. Making it
I'm
aware.
making it very aware
Making it
to the
aware.
fans and Mr.
Prepare
Moran
for
himself.
his next-
Because again, like I said, I'm very aware of his actions.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when
He
you
doesn't even know where he's about to go with this.
listen, when you are
I can't believe you have the shirt on.
unbiased, you go about it based on information in front of you.
And you're
week,
just a human.
week 10, when the Chiefs didn't have an answer at left tackle, they had Wanya Morris and Kingley, the rookie. Jalen Watson at the time was out for the year. Now they have Jalen Watson back. Is that not a huge swing?
What does your bracket say?
Bro.
You made it last. Don't
Wait,
worry.
Don't worry, we got Lamar, bro. You don't gotta
made
fucking
it
worry
last
about that.
week.
We got Lamar.
Yes.
It was
hilarious.
literally last
He's
week.
hilarious. He's
Okay,
dead last
I
week.
understand that, but like I said, like I just told you, if the Bills win,
Now he's hoping the
you're
Bills
good.
win.
You're
if the
good.
Bills win,
You're a nasty motherfucker.
If the
All right,
Bills- you
what
think
about the
I'll-
Eagles? What about the Eagles?
did I pick them to win the Super Bowl?
You've said all along that they're the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, they are.
If the Bills win, you're good. Like you're dead.
That's
you're
the best-
Dead out the
that
hook.
literally
you're
is his
you actually,
only out.
You fake need it.
Low-key.
You dead ass need it. Like you need the Bills to win. As a matter of fact, like you can pick the Ravens right now, but you need to pray and sleep on the fact that the Bills got to win, bro.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got doubt, but at the end of the day, it's, sometimes your team surprises you when they win, and you got to
Picking
root
his
for them.
team.
Hey,
You
man,
need to
tonight-
pick his team to win
Hey,
the Super Bowl.
Broncos.
Hey,
I
listen,
feel you.
hey, sometimes you don't expect them to do something,
Amen.
and then they go on and do it.
You know what the fuck I just realized? He's a Chiefs fan. He didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl. He's a Green Bay fan. He didn't pick them to beat the Eagles. The only team he picked to win a game was the Chargers because they were playing the Texans.
Yeah.
So
And
you
Minnesota.
have
Can't forget Minnesota.
Minnesota. Did he pick them?
You know what he
did.
else said? He said that Sam Darnold's going to outplay Matty Stafford. We just can't forget that.
But then he dropped the pick saying Rambling. So you know what this shit is telling me? He has no faith in them. He keeps picking everybody else except his team. The only team he stood on was Chargers and Minnesota because they were playing before we thought inferior talent.
What you just described is I'm unbiased. If I was biased, I would have picked the Packers against the Eagles.
The Chiefs are the one team where you can be biased all the time.
Yeah,
and
they
pick them.
didn't play last week though, so this week is different. This is clean sweep Chiefs.
Y'all are crazy, man.
AFC
sweep
Championship game. Let's see what happens. Let's see who they match up with.
Josh Allen, please.
We got you.
Okay, so
You saw what Sean Payton said? After it was a couple of days ago, he said, if we got past Buffalo, we felt pretty good about our next opponent.
Oh, get them the fuck
Love
out
that.
of here.
He's crazy for that.
Love that.
respect
No,
that.
OD. We
They
played
butt-
the Chiefs.
they
Forget
butt
about
fucked
Week
them.
18. The first time we met him in
Yeah, should've
Arrowhead,
won.
we
Should've won.
should have won.
It was just
That got
fucking
butt
around.
fucked though.
Nah, but I think this offense this Chiefs offense,
It just,
this go round,
it's just
it
like,
would have got ugly.
it's just
playoff
like
Chiefs,
Jimmy
yeah.
Butler saying,
would've got
if I
ugly.
was out there, you know what I mean? That's
No,
not
when he
gonna
said
go.
that shit killed me. He's in Cabo, like saying that
No,
shit.
no. When Sean Payton speaks, I listen. That's
should.
my coach.
You should.
That's my fucking coach.
Commanders versus Lions.
Is this a walkthrough?
If there was an upset, I think that happens this weekend. I think it's this game because I do think that it has the potential to just be a straight back and forth shootout. And if it was that type of game and it came down to one possession, like within like 3 points, I kind of would lean with Washington. But I think that Aaron Glenn is gonna do enough and
Future
scheme
Jet,
enough
hopefully.
to get the Commanders off the field. And I know that the Lions have a lot of injuries, but looking at their defense, they still have Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. Those are two all-pro level players.
Demons.
And Kirby Joseph, what he can do as that deep safety, he can erase those deeper routes, and Brian Branch plays nickel, and he can really defend well on the inside. You still have Zadarius Smith, DJ Reader, Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone. They still have like 6 really good defenders. And then, that's where the Carl Davis and Aiden Hutchinson, you miss Ali McNeil. They definitely got some injuries, but I think they've just been doing a great job of just stepping up. And it's hard for me to believe that the Commanders are just going to steamroll them offensively and get their way.
No, and Anzalone coming back Week 18 was huge. You saw what he came back from.
Yeah.
He's a different level breed human being. It's just you got to be sick to play football, and obviously he has that gene. But Amik Robertson too, what he was able to do Week 18 versus Jet, if he can go out there and replicate it to some level against Terry
McLaurin's
McLaurin,
a different beast.
he's not Jet. Far from. Never be. Never will ever even dream about being Jet. With all due
you
respect
okay?
to Terry's
Breakout year,
all-pro
1,100
level.
yards.
Are you okay?
I'm straight. Yeah.
I'm crying. Don't do that. Stop.
What?
I heard the sarcasm there.
I heard it too.
That was a bit much, Joel.
It's the truth.
His
He had
breakout,
1,100 yards.
Whose breakout year was 1,100?
Terry had 1,100 yards. this year.
McLaurin?
Yeah.
That's his breakout?
Yeah. He had hella touchdowns.
You lost bets, bro. It's over.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me?
Let me get the
this
exact number. I think it was like
motherfucker
1150.
breakout was 11 flat?
Nah, it was like 1170 maybe.
He was. I think he was
Okay.
top 3 in touchdowns.
This
though.
wasn't a breakout. He's been
No,
nice.
I've admitted I lost the bet fair and square.
1096.
Wait a minute.
Are you counting the playoff numbers?
Yo, what?
Why wouldn't
You're not
you?
supposed
Yo, what?
Drew, look,
Joel,
Drew,
no. Hey, he had 13 touchdowns.
He had 13
look me in my face.
13's a lot.
Drew,
Okay,
look me in my
I'm
face.
here. I'm here.
You mean to fucking tell me this man breakout year wasn't 1,100 actually?
It wasn't.
It was 1,093. You guys know how much I hate those nasty ass 1Ks where they don't get to 11 to 100. You know what?
13 tuds.
13 tuds.
13 touchdowns is OD.
Terry had a great year.
Elite year. He's an all-pro.
He wasn't all pro.
All pro 11.
All-pro, Pro Bowler, playoff win. Shut
Bowl.
up.
Give me Puka,
Stop
man.
playing with Terry, man. Terry's earned this.
1,093.
And you saw what he did against Quinyon.
96.
You saw what he did
Give him
against
every year.
Quinyon. You saw him when he
Remember
got
the
that
first time?
when he was truly one-on-one with him. He hit him with some shit. Had him leaning the other way. Touchdown. Easy.
You know,
Easy.
1,093. You know, AJ Brown did that in like 8 games.
Yeah.
This is your
He
breakout.
also has a prolific passing offense.
He's like 29, by the way.
At the time when AJ Brown
I'm talking
did
about this
that.
year.
Yeah, I mean AJ Brown's better than Terry McLaurin.
Where did we have Terry? Top 10?
He's top 10 this year.
1,096.
Don't make me laugh. That being said,
I just feel like that's a funny
I
number.
agree with what you're saying. I think
Can you
that
get into the Hall of Fame with 1,096?
He's not a Hall of Famer.
I'm just asking, like, if I had 1,096 12 years in a row,
Shit, Mike
would
Evans
you
did
put
it for
me in?
half them years.
if you had 1,096 but 13 tuds every year,
Sure.
I'm giving you
13.
first ballot.
Okay. That's fair.
Mike Evans faked it that a few
Watch the
times.
game, man. Stop.
Film don't
Your
lie.
box score.
I don't think it's hard to watch
Nah,
1,096.
the
Watch
fact
him.
that Terry lines up where he does almost every single game, and he's just one-on-one, and he beats them. And it's not really one-on-one
He
because, of
doesn't
course,
get
yeah,
schemed up easy
he
targets.
doesn't.
I'm just
at
picking
all.
at you. 1,096 is
I feel
cute.
like-
1,096.
It's adorable.
I understand where Riv control.
It's nasty.
I can understand where
It's
Riv
nasty.
Look at this. He started. He started it. No
He
doubt.
averages 14
I didn't even know
yards
that.
per
From the,
reception.
I didn't even know that from the top of my head until Dehls said something.
No, he averages like 14 yards per reception.
13.3. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cute.
He's being an asshole.
I just have the numbers. I just have the. It's 13.4.
that's good. I like that
it's
he's
0.37.
fact-checking
It's
me.
0.37. I give you the 0.4.
But still, that means that
13 point what?
3.7.
Oh,
Yards
but
per
that
catch.
means that all of his catches are going past the sticks.
I fuck with
pretty
that.
much,
That's dope.
you know?
It led him to 1,096.
What was Malik Neighbors' yards per reception?
Let's see.
Because I know he had a shit ton of targets, obviously.
Yeah, he had a fuck ton of
All in
receptions.
all, what I want to say
Continue, yes.
is that I believe this defense will be good
11
enough
flat.
to get 11 flat.
11 point. Yeah. 11
Okay.
flat.
I believe this defense is going to be good enough to get Washington off the field. And I don't see a world where Detroit's offense gets stopped unless Goff has a moment, which is possible. I've seen Goff in Week 18. If Sam Darnold didn't have one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life, Goff didn't play that great of a game. It was Jahmyr Gibbs who really dominated that game and was able to put the game out of reach for the Detroit Lions, at least on the offensive side. But I think that this offense will be enough. You have Monty back in the lineup. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the most talented guys in the league. And you guys know how much I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jahmyr Gibbs is the best offensive player on that team. What he can do for them out wide as well, it's unbelievable the talent that this guy brings to a football field. I trust that the Lions are going to be able to score all over the Washington Commanders defense because Tampa Bay only got taken off the field one time, and it was because Baker Mayfield fumbled the ball, and it was a freak play.
Yeah, and even with that, like Tampa Bay had 23 minutes time of possession. The Commanders had 35. Like they dominated the time of possession battle. I just don't see the Lions not dominating the time of possession.
No
like
doubt.
I think the Lions could genuinely control the ball for 40 minutes in this game if they run the ball and the Commanders aren't just giving up like 50-yard runs. If they're just chunking at the bits, I really think the Lions can just dominate this game.
Last thing I'll say, Jayden has a good game.
Yeah, me too. I think
I
he will.
don't think Jayden is going to walk in and be C.J. Stroud versus the Ravens last year, a.k.a. be overwhelmed.
Ravens defense was better.
The Ravens exactly. That's a majority of
That
the
was
reason why.
historically good.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to bring up Lamar, but do I need to do that anymore?
Yeah, I'm a Lamar fan now. I won't speak on his
You really
playoff
don't.
woes in the past.
You don't really support your peoples, man. Lamar Jackson. That's
Josh-
our
Josh
guy.
over
CJ
Lamar.
Stroud is literally black.
Josh over Lamar.
And
He's like you, Black.
He literally he's actually me.
That's your twin.
Lamar's not with me.
It's a
Respectfully.
different bracket.
That's my guy, Lamar.
We support Lamar Jackson.
I love Lamar Jackson. Love him as a man, as a quarterback, as a person, as everything.
Question.
He's your everything.
You'd rather
He's my
support
everything.
Josh Allen than Lamar. That's crazy. It's
crazy, bro.
Turning
You
it back.
support Joe Burrow. You support Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes.
I ain't so yeah.
You support
It's a lot of color
Joe,
in there.
like Justin Herbert.
It's a mixture. I got dudes that's white. I got dudes that's
Herbert.
mixed.
Can't forget Herbert.
I think I only have one white guy.
Allen.
Oh, two.
I only have
Brock.
one white guy.
Yeah.
Brock.
Brock and Josh.
Brock Purdy.
Question.
Go ahead.
Latin McConkey had 1,149.
He's amazing.
Dog.
I agree.
Yeah.
Will we call this a breakout? Or we think he can do
Yes. This season was fucking amazing.
But yeah, Lamar McConkey had the type of season that like he could be one of the 3 best wide receivers in this draft class. Like Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and then Ladd.
Okay, Jerry
like Ladd
Jr.
had a look.
Why do we do this to Marvin?
Come on.
Relax.
It's Lamar McConkey.
It's Lad
With all due
McConkey.
respect.
I like Ladd a lot.
Jerry
I
Jeudy
like
had
Ladd a
12
lot.
to 29.
Lamar
You see what I'm getting
McConkey
at,
is
Jameis.
so crisp at
You see what I'm getting at?
and his
Jameis
route running,
definitely blessed
and he
it.
could take the top off the defense. Marvin Harrison Jr. does not have the
Marvin's
same
route
type of
running
explosiveness,
I didn't mean to
but
make
he
this
doesn't have the same
Marvin
type of
versus
explosiveness
Ladd.
as Ladd.
He doesn't.
Ladd tough.
But his route running is pristine.
So is Lads.
Ladd's tough.
Yeah,
though.
they're both
Ladd's
pretty
I think
good.
No,
right,
but like
I think right now Ladd's better.
just because of the numbers.
Yes, they moved me.
No, I don't
Herbert
think it's just the numbers. I think Ladd got more open, and he was better at the catch point.
Reception perception says that Marvin Harrison's never not open.
Over the top,
receivers
he's
are.
pretty much not open. He's not really taking
He's
the
not
top
a
off the
vertical guy,
defense.
yeah. They shouldn't ask him to do it, too.
Ladd
to be fair.
McConkey his best highlight this year. I believe it was against the Cleveland Browns, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's one of these bottom feeder
I mean,
teams.
you could argue his best highlight was last week versus.
Well, yeah, it was one of the best playoff debuts
That
by a
was
rookie
amazing.
receiver, by any receiver ever in history.
So-
But Ladd McConkey, one of his highlights was
Don't worry about it.
that's
don't worry
Marvin.
about it. Yeah.
Ladd McConkey caught it over the defender and then ran for a touchdown.
I'll text it to
Fast
you. I
as
don't have
shit.
it off the top of my head.
Ladd McConkey, I think at the catch point, like if a 50-50 ball, I think he's just more aggressive in hauling those in than Marvin right now.
I respect that.
Was that Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'm trying to find it. I just don't have the login on my phone.
I got Detroit winning this game. I think they've been just the more dominating team. I
Yeah.
think they'll come into this matchup. I do think Washington will be able to score. I think we've seen Washington's offense be really efficient. They do a nice little blend of getting their guys, in the short yardage, getting their running game a little bit going. I do think Detroit, though, bro, they're just a different beast. I mean, you have Gibbs, you have Montgomery, you have Amon-Ra, you have Jameson Williams, who had 1,000 yards, the Terry McLaurin-like year. And I think, like, this what? I think this offense. This offense, the offensive line. Like, I really don't know how Washington
Oh my
gets any
God.
push on this offensive line. Like,
Hey, listen,
Detroit's offensive line is really different. So I
Terry
got Detroit winning.
McLaurin slander
You
came
know,
out of
I-
nowhere
wait,
today, man. Came out of nowhere.
I was
happened?
hoping that after
It's a
Terry
breakout year.
I was
It is.
hoping that Terry McLaurin, after the
Age
best
28.
season that he's had in his career,
That's
after
cute.
finally getting a quarterback, he gets some respect.
It wasn't
but
his
instead,
best
you keep
statistical
on
season.
disrespecting him.
No, I mean it like Jameson has breakout
He
year.
had 1,200 one year, like 11-8 or something.
Terry
like that.
McLaurin next year is going to be
Did he
even
have
better than
12?
this year.
No, it wasn't 12. It was like 11 change.
This will be McLaurin's first time having back-to-back quarterbacks.
And shout out to him. He deserves
Hey,
it.
listen,
Yeah,
one
he's a
thing
great
about
player.
Sam Howell, he launched that shit.
Absolutely.
He was slinging
launched
that
it
boy.
into nobody's vicinity.
That's a fact.
All right, Marvin Harrison on man routes 83%. He was in the 83rd percentile, in zone 80th, press 87th. The routes that he ran poorly by success rate, 66.7% on posts, comebacks 71.4%. Those were the only non-greens.
Dehls.
On the 9 route, it was 63%. Don't make me laugh, Riv. Let me finish. On corner routes, 82%. On out routes, 100%. On curl routes, 82%. Riv, stop. In the flat, 100. In the slant, 85. And screens, whatever.
In the intermediate area, he's awesome. Ladd
But
McConkey's-
9,
Ladd McConkey's
green,
just as good in the
it's
intermediate
that
areas.
Kyler Murray is maybe blind.
I don't know. I when I watch it, I just really think Marvin Harrison Jr. is not as open as everybody makes him out to be. When talking about the Kyler Murray dynamic,
So fuck reception perception?
No,
I'll throw it away.
I'm talking about down the field.
good
down
website.
the field, he's not. The reason why Kyler doesn't throw it to him down the field is because he has been underwhelming at the catch point. But he gets out physical.
But he gets open.
Yes, but
According to just
okay. T. Higgins, you trust throwing the ball to him down the field.
He's a goat.
because he's gonna come up with that.
At the catch rate, yeah.
With Marvin Harrison Jr., that's been an issue.
But Marvin had what two drops this year?
Yeah, but
T's
that's,
a better
it's not really
contested
about.
catch guy,
It's,
too.
yeah, it's more so contested catches. I don't know if
T's just
drops
bigger.
like count towards contested catches because you can. If you're, I think drops are only when you blatantly drop unopen.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not sure exactly
an
how it's
open
calculated.
route.
It should be. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
like them contested. You know what I'm saying?
But because if somebody breaks up a pass, that counts as a PBU, not as a drop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that would like necessarily count as a drop.
Got that, Riff.
But yeah, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. just making life easier for the quarterback and working back to the ball. There are times at the top of his route where he just doesn't work back to it, you know. So I think those are little things that he can fix. But no, all those things that you're telling me about Marvin Harrison Jr., like I think he's a great receiver, but McConkey does all that stuff.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Lad's great, and he also has Herbie.
No, but McConkey also just like
I said he's great.
Gets open.
I said he's great.
Yeah. Can you look at McConkey's ones? Of course. Yeah. Let's look at them. Because what was it? It was Marvin Harrison Jr. 80th percentile.
I'll send you the screenshot, baby. Don't worry.
Okay. My phone dropped.
I got Detroit in this game, but I will say I've become a Jayden Daniels fan because the way everyone else talks about him.
You and I both, man.
Everyone else thinks that we're being reactionary. We're having recency bias because of his level of play.
To be fair, we do it every year.
Who knows?
He
had a CJ shot last year.
It did.
We do it every year.
But it is fair to do it.
Not that great.
When you have a historical rookie season, when you go into a situation that we think is shit, when you go into a situation where we don't like the head coach, we don't like the offensive coordinator, you have one weapon, and you go out there and win a fucking playoff game and win double-digit games in the regular season, you should be propped up as a top 10 quarterback. You should be propped up over guys who've had, mediocre to average or even above average seasons. Because if you're doing this as a rookie, the first year in the league, it's natural to assume that over time you're going to get better. And I know we did the same thing about CJ Stroud, and then year 2 he pulled back a bit, so we shit on him. If Jayden Daniels goes out there next season and he has a bad season or a subpar season, he's going to get criticized. But if Jayden Daniels improves on what he just did, he could be the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. That's why he gets the recency bias. That's why he gets the hype. So I think the Lions are going to win this game. They've been dominant all season long. The offense is great. Defense is great. Nate Tice put out a tweet. They are top 4 in terms of pressure rate since they traded for Zadarius Smith. They're number 2. That was just with rushing 4 or fewer defenders. They're number 2 overall just in terms of pressure rate as a whole. This defense is still really good. Love Aaron Glenn. The fact that they're getting 2 weeks to prepare. Of course, they didn't know they were going to be the opponent, but the fact they got a week off, you got Montgomery back. I do think Washington will be able to move the ball, but Detroit's going to be able to make key stops. I got to win like 31-17.
I think with Jayden, what just separates him is that he has a true playmaking ability to him, like as a scrambler.
Yeah.
CJ can't do the same thing. He can't put the same stress on defenses in that way. I just think that's what separates Jayden, where he's phenomenal in the pocket. He's phenomenal on the move. He can threaten defenses. I think that's just major thing. And he's more accurate too. He's just more accurate.
Those dimes.
Yeah. The 4th down conversion to tear in the end zone.
I know I'm supposed to hate every quarterback in this class. I don't
think you have to.
He was born on the same day as me. I'll be honest with you, that's twin.
You just have to remove that.
Done.
Yeah, fake.
All right,
maybe it has to be like a Bo Nix one or something.
It sucks though because he's number 18.
Can't have it all.
He really got pranked about the Ben Johnson thing.
Bad. Yeah,
he
was
really
embarrassing. But he still could come.
He's a cool dude. Whoa. He's a cool dude.
Oh my God, he's so good.
You saw
sicko.
Listen, Jordan Schultz said it's a 2-man race between McCarthy and Ben Johnson to be the Bears head coach.
I don't mind Mike McCarthy.
I don't either.
I think that would give them some stability. You looked up the lad numbers?
I sent them to you. You said your phone dropped.
No, my phone, it did drop.
Where you go, Papa?
It's right there.
Take a look at it. Because that dig route. Oh, damn it. Come on, lad. We got to run it better, especially when you run it.
Success percentages.
I did not.
Yeah.
Look, that's on me, man. I should have. All right. He was against press 8th percentile. In man, I've read the worst thing. I'm obviously agenda dropping. He was amazing in man, 85th percentile, and in zone 81st. Now, in comparison with Marvin,
85th and 84th.
Yep, you got it. But against press, 87th percentile.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, Ladd is in press because he's in the slot.
He's small.
Yeah,
that too.
But he's also in the slot.
Yeah.
And he didn't really have that many reps where he got pressed.
But against me, I mean, these are two guys that are.
These screenshots you sent, I think, are from their college, bro.
Both of them?
Yeah, it says 2023. It has them in Ohio State and Georgia jerseys.
That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness!
He might not have.
Over here
he might not.
8% against press.
Honestly, I feel like he usually does it like at the end of the year. He'll go and.
Why do I remember him dropping mid-season ones though?
No, he definitely does. He definitely does.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get into it.
Whoopsies. This is why I'm the.
So next game up, let's talk about the Rams facing the Eagles going to Philadelphia. Likely chance of snow in this game.
Yep, bad weather.
we know that Stafford and McVay have been awesome. We know Stafford's record in December and in the playoffs, but even with the advantage that the Rams might have with the quarterback and a coach, this is going to be a game where it's going to be bad weather. You're going to lean on the trenches, and I just think the advantage that the Eagles have on their talent, on the trenches is just too much for the Rams to overcome. Even if this wasn't a game where it wasn't snowing, I think the Eagles are going to dominate. Offensive line, defensive line. Matthew Stafford surprisingly was pressured very quickly against the Vikings. He was just able to pick apart the Vikings defense. I don't think that same thing will be said for the Eagles. They just have better man-to-man corners. And, I'm just going with the Eagles here. I think they're going to run the ball to a similar level that they ran the first time, where Saquon went for over 200 and they had 300. Man. They had 300 total yards rushing. I mean, they dominated the ground game. What can the Rams realistically do? The defensive line is young and they're playing better, but this is the Eagles' offensive line. Yeah. You cannot Jared Verse against Jordan Mailata. One-on-one.
So there's one play come on,
man.
Funny.
Their offensive line is filled with Pro Bowler, all pro level players. The Eagles, I think they're going to win this one.
All right, this was early in the season. I apologize because I was able to find it. He did drop a mid-season rookie one. Now, at the time, it was Marvin Harrison against man success rate 70%.
What week did this drop? Just out of curiosity, does it say?
God damn it! Let me read these numbers and I'll find
just
it.
Just because Lad didn't break out, I feel like
No, I'm with you, but I'm still reading them because against man, Marvin had 68 attempts. Lad had 33. So this was early. But Lad was still at 76% to Marvin at 70. Against zone, Marvin had 68 attempts to Lad 65. Marvin was at 81. Lad was at 80 flat. Against double teams, Marvin saw 23 doubles. Lad saw 4. His success rate, Marvin's was 57. Lad's was 25. There's only 4 attempts, so who really cares? 32 attempts against press for Marv, 10 for Lad. Lad was at 90% in these 10 attempts, which means he won 9 out of the 10 times. Marvin was at 78%, 32, which is pretty high considering. But although in the few sample size for this, Lad was pretty good against man. Against press. Now, to talk about this game real quick, I still believe that the Eagles are the better team here. I believe that the Eagles are still the best team in the NFC.
Fell off on Ramley.
I think this would be a great game. You fell off.
Picking against them. I just picked 1 week early, that's all.
Here's
That's funny as shit.
Here's my out. I thought Tampa Bay would win. And honestly, I could have saw the upset with the Rams beating the Lions. That was my way of seeing them go to the NFC Championship, and that's how my hot take would have been succeeded. But in this reality, I'm sorry, I just can't choose the Rams to win this game. I think it'll be a close game because I respect Matthew Stafford and I respect Sean McVay. I respect this defensive line. The issue is you're playing against the Eagles team that is perfect. Saquon Barkley, the last time he played against them was historic. I believe that he will have a unbelievable game this upcoming weekend, and understanding that this defensive line is still going to get after Matthew Stafford and make him feel uncomfortable. Joel, you said it perfectly. He was under pressure in this game versus Minnesota. It was just that Sam Darnold was making some boneheaded plays, but he was able to make quick decisions, get the ball out on time, and obviously push the ball downfield because that's what Matthew Stafford's going to do. But against the Eagles, it's just going to be so much harder to do that on a consistent basis. And then also you have to rely on the defense to stop the Eagles and their rushing attack, which I don't see happening. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. I think it'll be a good game, but the Eagles will be victorious.
The Rams only have one receiver that scares you. It's Puka. It's the only person they got to worry about.
Say Cooper Kupp, as the season has gone on, I feel like you could tell that he's lost a bit of a step. Of course, I think he was battling anything serious injury-wise, but he was just getting nicked up throughout the season. He did have an ankle injury, actually. Yeah, he missed the first 4 games.
Cooper DeJean against Cooper Kupp, I'm fine with that matchup. Yeah. You could leave him on him the entire game. I'm fine.
We're going to miss Nakobe Dean in this game. I think that's a guy that's going to be huge. I don't know if Slay's playing, though, but Nakobe Dean is going to hurt not having him. But, yeah, I just think we're better in the trenches. I think that's where we're going to live and die by in playoff games, especially in Philly. The weather's going to be nutty. They know we're going to come in relying on Saquon. And like I was telling you earlier, Drew, because they know we're going to come in with Saquon, this is where I need Hurts to make some big plays, some timely key plays.
Do you trust him?
I trust him to make timely key plays.
Trust him.
I trust him for sure to make some timely key plays. And I trust our defense to do our thing. So I got a 24-16 game. I think it'll be an ugly game. I think we'll pretty much control clock. We're one of the best teams at controlling clock. We can waste 10 minutes like no other team in the league.
Control a clock.
Yeah, no, we do. We know how to do it nice and slow. You know, we know how to get into there. So
And when you got to, you can speed it up.
Yep, if we need to, but we love the slow pace. We love to make love. That's what we love to do. So I got 24-16 Philly walkthrough, man.
Yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to fuck up love, too. Like what y'all did last week, you know what I mean?
What you mean?
Hey, spit.
Jordan Love.
Fucked up love.
I don't know
Facts.
in my head, but I like that. I
Yeah,
like
man,
that.
I'll be
He
honest,
never had a
like,
chance.
I wanted to kind of pick an upset in these games, but it's very hard. I think the teams that are favored have like clear advantages. And the next game, I think this is probably the biggest upset potential because these two teams are evenly matched.
Philly, by the way.
I don't think either way, Bills or Ravens, like if
not
the
an
Bills
upset,
win,
really.
it's not really an upset. These teams are evenly matched. The Ravens are a better team, and it showed
agree.
with how many more players they had on their All-Pro and the Pro Bowl
Are they
teams.
evenly matched?
Lamar just brings
It's
the
like
best
it's
out of
it's
a
his
close.
players.
matchup where if you look at the Bills win, you won't say they shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
not
I
like a
think of it.
crazy upset.
If they win, it's because Josh Allen is a superhero.
Which he can be.
I agree.
Yeah, you know?
I agree. I believe very passionately, I should say.
I think Lamar can.
I think
Fucking goofy.
it's not the craziest thing I've
nothing
heard.
we haven't seen
but-
before, you know.
but,
Write these down, fellas.
Wait, can I finish?
Nothing we haven't seen
I
before, Drew.
believe in 2025 Lamar Jackson's playoff
know if
run.
you
I'm sure you said that in
I-
2023, 2022, 2021.
I believe in him.
You know, I know he said it.
I'm giving him my stamp. I believe
I
in
believe
him.
Lamar till the day I die.
You might die.
That's-
It might be this week. You might go to.
I'll say this. Lamar, I'm begging. Don't play like shit.
Don't. No.
Please.
If Lamar
I think he's going to play great.
plays like
This was like y'all last year. You're like, what are you gonna do when the Celtics don't win the
I didn't
championship?
say that.
Fucking goofy shit, man.
Why
Lamar's
are you
not gonna
group-
play
Why
bad.
are you
I
grouping
think he
me
only said
in that?
You know,
Well, no, he said. Then y'all over there giggling.
No, 'cause it is
It's the
funny
same
as
shit. It's the same
It is
shit.
funny as
I
fuck.
know. One person says, "You're." Ooh.
Bro, I'm just saying I need him to play well. I want him to play well. I think he will play well. I believe
What you
the
got
MVP of this
thinking? What you got?
game is
Oh.
going to be Derrick Henry.
Joel.
I think Derrick Henry is still the most important piece for them to win this game. The
agree.
disadvantage is because the Buffalo's defense
As a whole.
correct, but their big issue has been this season their rush defense.
You've been saying it about the last 2-3 years. They rush defense.
It's been a fact.
Yeah.
It's been a fact.
But they had some guys hurt.
They did.
What was that, week 3? Whatever it was. So I don't think it makes the biggest difference, but it helps.
I watched Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter who he's going
yep.
up against. He's going to dominate their defensive line. And once he gets into that second level of the defense,
See ya.
that's when he really
I
makes his
smell
mark.
a split aside difference here.
I mean, listen, you guys talked about it before. You know how badly I need the Bills to win this game, and if my bracket's gonna be busted,
You might as well just go with it. You might as well.
it's not
go
gonna be
with
this
a bang.
week. I think the Bills are in trouble here.
Oh, okay.
Like I really think the Bills are in trouble. We talk about the injuries they had when they faced off in week 4. It was a very long time ago. The Bills got smoked. They got demolished up front.
Destroyed.
Got
And
embarrassed.
Yep.
Josh
Sean
didn't do shit.
McDermott, his defenses are always light. That's how he plays defense all the time. But this is what scares me about this matchup, is that if you look at how the Bills play their defense, they deploy 5 defensive backs on the field at 95.6% of their snaps, and 95.6% of their snaps. And the Ravens use 12 personnel at the second highest rate of any team in the NFL, which means that you're going to have a mismatch with a tight end or a fullback going out to block a corner or a safety. And I think that they just have a clear advantage up front against the Buffalo Bills. Roger Rosengarten, the rookie right tackle, has played much better as of
locked.
recently. Yeah, he played amazing. He really took TJ Watt out the game last
Which was
week.
nuts. I never seen
It's
it.
hard to do.
And Von Miller is lining up there now, and that's going to be his matchup. You know, I feel comfortable on Roger Rosengarten. But really, it's the number one thing for the Bills is how can we stop the run?
Control clock.
That's the
time
number
clock,
one
too.
thing. And I just don't believe they're going to be able to stop the run. Derrick Henry ran all over them the first time that they played. And then the Bills also play a lot of zone defense. Lamar Jackson this year against zone defense, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 119.1 rating, 9.5 yards per attempt. He averages a first down per pass against zone defenses. This has been his strong suit, and Derrick Henry has 119 rushing. He had 119 rushing yards over expectation in the first matchup against the Bills. It's because those second-level defenders could not tackle him.
Yeah, that first play set immediate tone.
So I think that game, what it taught me about what the Bills need to do is that their entire game plan needs to be scrapped, and they need to come into this game with a brand new philosophy, a brand new scheme.
New plan.
Is it going to
just go from the back way? You got to go through the front way.
You cannot. Is it going to be deploying heavier personnel on there?
Shit gets boring.
Sometimes you got to put on the side and just.
Is it going to be them deploying heavier personnel? That might be. Is it going to be them blitzing Lamar Jackson and trusting their corners? I think that's a possibility just because Zay Flowers might not play in this game. And I think that can swing things a little bit. If Zay Flowers is not out there, that's a huge loss for the Ravens.
Shotty B.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
Amazing
but,
this year,
if you got both of them, it makes it even better and harder to defend. So, I'm just interested to seeing how Sean McDermott comes into this game because we know how his defenses have looked against top-level offenses in the playoffs through the years. He doesn't play aggressive. He plays a little bit too conservative. And if you play like that against Lamar Jackson and you're not able to generate a pressure at a high level, you're going to get picked apart. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens this year, this offense, he's facing quick pressures at the second lowest rate in the NFL. He has one of the longest time to throws because he's scrambling and he creates for himself, but the offensive line holds up quickly. It holds up for a long time. So I just feel like the Ravens have a clear advantage. Now, if you're telling me that Lamar Jackson is going to forget how to play football and not play well, then yeah, the Bills probably win this game, right? But no, I think Lamar Jackson is going to play just fine. I think he's going to play great, and I think they're going to win on the road.
I believe in this team. Do I think the Baltimore Ravens are better? I do. I think it's funny because I feel like Baltimore is a bad matchup for Buffalo. I think Buffalo and Kansas City, I think Buffalo would probably be better in that type of matchup. And I think KC is a bad matchup for Baltimore. So I think these three teams are very dependent on who they play. I believe in this team because of two reasons. And I think they're going to win because of two reasons. It's because they got Superman in the backfield. It's because they're in Buffalo. That is the only two reasons why I believe they're going to win this game. I feel like Josh Allen has to have his best game of his life against the Baltimore Ravens. I do think it's a lot of disadvantage. You mentioned it. Derrick Henry's going to be able to run over them. Lamar's going to be able to extend plays. He's going to be able to make plays in the rushing game. I don't know if Zay Flowers is playing.
He didn't practice
probably
today.
out.
Yeah, so if he's out, I guess that makes you feel more comfortable in the fact that you're going up against these wide receivers, so you don't need too many defensive backs. But you mentioned it. McDermott doesn't really change much up in the playoffs.
Bro. I watched Sutton kind of kill.
Well, Sutton's kind of better than everybody outside of Zay Flowers.
Shotty B can get open.
That's fair. I still think Cortland Sutton is like a bit of a dog in his own right.
Thank you.
For Buffalo, though, this offense needs to get it going. They can't be no slouches. They are a team that also can control time of possession. I think they're going to have to do that in this game, specifically use a lot of James Cook. Use a lot of Josh Allen in the run game. Use a lot of Khalil Shakir in the short yardage game. Be consistent with Curtis Samuel. You got a little bit of love last week. You just have to be able to take away. You just have to keep Baltimore off the field. If you're able to keep Baltimore off the field, you can able to keep this a low-scoring game. Keep it to where you can, be able to see everything in front of you. But like I mentioned, I do believe Josh Allen's going to turn into Superman. I think he'll have to in this particular matchup. So I got Buffalo winning.
You know where I'm going. But this game is really about the quarterbacks, man. It's about Lamar.
Really?
It's about Josh Allen. I do think Derrick Henry's going to have a big game because it's Derrick Henry. And there's going to be pieces on Buffalo, whether it's offense, defense. People are going to make plays. But at the end of the day, when this game is over, the story is going to be about the quarterbacks because you're going to have MVP number 1, MVP number 2. One of these guys are going to be going home in the second round, right? Last season, it was Josh Allen who lost to Kansas City Chiefs in the second round. Lamar was able to make it the championship game. He got beat. But it's really about these quarterbacks and I think how they're going to be perceived on this season. Because although they had great regular seasons, phenomenal regular seasons, it's going to look like an absolute failure. For better or for worse, if you go out in the second round of the playoffs. The fact that you didn't even make it to the conference championship game, you didn't even get invited to the fucking Arrowhead Invitational that's become every single year here, never had a chance to even really sniff the Super Bowl. For better or for worse, that's what the storyline is going to be. When we come out of this game on Sunday night and we record either Sunday, Monday, whenever it is, we're going to say, damn, man, is Josh Allen ever going to be able to get over the hump? Lamar Jackson, are they ever going to be able to put a team together and he's going to step up in the playoffs and finally get over the hump and win the Super Bowl? For better or for worse, that's what this conversation is going to be. So I'm expecting both these quarterbacks to go out there and play their ass off. We already know what they can do, or what they did do in the regular season. They asked Lamar Jackson about, do you remember what happened last time when you played Buffalo? Lost 17-3. They got their ass kicked. They could not do anything on offense. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to go back and watch it, but I remembered it. He's like, I didn't want to go back and see, but I remember what happened. He's like, me and Josh, one day when we retire, we're gonna laugh about it, but right now we're not. He's like, I'm a competitor.
I think they're actually really cool too.
I think they are, but he's like, right now it's like we're competing. Like, that's my competitor. I'm not cool with, I'm not gonna be out here joking with him pregame or anything like that. But this is the game of the year to me. Like, we're gonna get a Super Bowl. It's gonna be like Philly or Detroit against Casey or one of these teams, whatever it's gonna be. But this is game of the year because to me, these are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL this season. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. You want to take him in a one-game winner take all? I get it, whatever. This season, these have been the two best quarterbacks.
That's what he had to say.
And two of the most efficient offenses in NFL history. One of these teams are going to advance and go to Kansas City most likely, and the other one is going to be an absolute failure of a season. And that's what the media is about, and that's what podcasts are about, and it's going to be really fucking nasty, especially if it's one of these guys because of his track record in the playoffs. But I do think Baltimore comes through in this game, and I think the missing piece is just fucking Derrick Henry, man. The fact that whenever something goes wrong, you could hand the ball off to Derrick Henry and on any given play get 6 to 80 yards. And that's where he gives you. And as good as James Cook has been this year, and he's been phenomenal, right? Set the record or second most ever touchdowns by Buffalo Bills running back. He's been great this year. Josh Allen really does have to do basically all of it by himself. He's got to consistently extend plays. He's got to consistently make guys get open by extended plays. Lamar Jackson does that at just a high, if not higher level, but he also has the luxury of having one of the best running backs in NFL history behind him. And the fact that they can be that dynamic and that different on offense, although Buffalo can run the ball, the fact that they're one of the best rushing teams, not the best rushing team in football, that's the game changer for me, as well as the defense. I do think Baltimore's defense, I still don't think it's elite. I do trust him more than Buffalo going into this matchup. Lamar, get it done. Go to KC, get that done. Let's have a legacy year, man. Let's win a Super Bowl.
You know what this is reminiscent of for me? Remember when Giannis won back-to-back MVPs, went into the playoffs, got schemed up against, fell short, didn't even make the ECF, and now we're talking about a failure of a season, and one of the main reasons why we didn't go 3 years in a row of seeing Giannis be an MVP. What did he follow it up with? A championship run, Finals MVP. Now you look at Lamar Jackson, soon to be back-to-back MVP, soon to be 3-time MVP. What has history shown us in Lamar Jackson in the playoffs? He doesn't arrive at the moment. This is his time to show I am an all-time great. Yep. I am legitimately one of the best to ever play the position. I'm going up against one of the best of our generation in Josh Allen. And if I go out there and I outperform my contemporary, who also is going to finish number 2 in MVP this year, who a lot of people feel as if should be the MVP over me, I can silence a lot in this one game. There's a lot on the line for Lamar Jackson. It is not even a conversation to me when I look at the two of Josh Allen versus Lamar. I know Josh Allen has arrived at the moment in the playoffs. He hasn't had the wins, obviously, like the Patrick Mahomes. So we can't talk about Josh Allen in that same light. The thing with Lamar Jackson is he has the MVPs. He has that hardware. He has zero to show me in the playoffs. This is his season to show I am one of the greatest.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that there's just so much more for Josh Allen to overcome against this Ravens defense. This is just one stat I'll mention about the matchup. And we know Josh Allen loves to scramble. He scrambles on 19.2% of his dropbacks, and he runs on 44.5% of his scrambles, which is a pretty healthy balance between him passing and him running the ball. Now, their first matchup, Josh Allen had 5 carries for 21 yards, and that's because the Ravens defense, they allow 5.2 yards per pass attempt on scrambles and allow quarterbacks to pass over the line of scrimmage on 28.7% of scrambles, which is the second lowest. This is a defense that really controls the line of scrimmage, and they force quarterbacks to stay within the pocket. And what I saw a lot in that first matchup is whenever Josh Allen got out the pocket, there was either somebody chasing him. We saw that with the play that he got the concussion on. There were people swarming him. There were people taking away those options underneath. So he didn't really have any openings to really throw the ball into or to scramble into. And I think that's going to be a big thing at play in this matchup. If they can contain him at a similar level to what they did week 4, it's going to look rough. You know, this is when we saw them last time, the Ravens dominated this matchup. And I don't think it was because of like a lucky game or nothing. I just think they just match up better with them up front and in all areas. And I think the Ravens have gotten better from that moment. And I think the Bills' defense has gotten worse from that moment. So, I don't know. I feel like Josh Allen has to overcome more in this game. But we'll see how it plays out.
I'm with you.
Can't wait.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 446.
Nice.
You
Look at
guys
that hair
can
on this
follow
guy, man.
us on Pick a Side
nice ass hair.
My
Pod
God,
on
he
Twitter.
looks like a Greek
Looks like
god.
Yeah, it's Thor.
What the fuck?
Here comes Thor, Dehls.
Pick a
Laid
Side
a fucking hammer.
Podcast on
Big one.
TikTok and Instagram.
I know it's big too.
And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
6'5", Haley Seinfeld. Fucking guy has it all. One of the best quarterbacks in the
Look at his
league.
hair, man.
Jesus.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.